Meet Claudette Morel. Claudette Morel is one of the original survivors in Dead by Daylight, and her story explains why she's built around healing, awareness, and staying hidden. From a young age, Claudette showed a strong interest in science. After receiving her first science kit from her parents, she became focused on experimentation and learning. Her intelligence earned her an early scholarship to a prestigious college, which required her to leave Montreal. While academically gifted, Claudette struggled socially and became increasingly introverted. Instead of building connections in person, she turned to online forums and chat rooms where she shared her knowledge of botany under the username Science Girl. One evening, during a long bus ride home from the city, Claudette stepped off and wandered into the nearby woods. Within minutes, she became disoriented and unable to find her way back. Her disappearance went unnoticed for a full week until her online posts suddenly stopped. Claudette's perks focus on healing and awareness. Botany knowledge increases healing speed by 30, 40, or 50%, but reduces medkit efficiency by 20%. Empathy reveals the aura of injured or dying survivors within 64, 96, or 128 meters. Self-care allows Claudette to heal herself without a med kit at 25, 30, or 35% of normal healing speed. Claudette survives by avoiding attention, supporting others when needed, and using her knowledge to stay alive. Don't forget to like and follow for more survivor and killer lore in Dead by Daylight. Meet Meg Thomas. Meg Thomas is one of the original survivors in Dead by Daylight, and everything about her story, and her perks is built around speed, endurance, and escape. Meg grew up with a lot of unfocused energy. Her father left her when she was still a baby, and her mother raised her alone. At school, Meg did well academically, but she constantly got into trouble because she had no real outlet for that energy. That changed when an athletics coach pushed her towards running. Running gave Meg discipline and structure. She became a standout high school athlete and earned a scholarship to college. But when her mother became seriously ill, Meg made a choice that defined her. She gave up college to stay home and take care of the woman who had raised her. One summer day, while out on a long-distance run deep in the woods, Meg disappeared. Despite extensive searches, her body was never found. Meg comes with 3 perks, all focused on movement and escaping danger. Sprint Burst activates the moment you start running, giving you a 50% speed boost for 3 seconds. After using it, you become exhausted for 60, 50, or 40 seconds, but you can't use it again while exhausted. Quick and Quiet removes loud noises and sounds when you fast vault windows, pallets, or quickly enter or exit lockers. It has a cooldown of 30, 25, or 20 seconds, making it useful for escaping chases without alerting the killer. And Adrenaline activates once the exit gates are powered. It instantly heals you for 1 health state and gives you a 50% speed boost for 3 seconds, even if you are already exhausted. Afterward, it applies exhausted for 60, 50, or 40 seconds. Meg's entire design reinforces the same idea: keep moving, avoid getting caught, and push through danger when escape is close. Don't forget to like and follow for more DBD survivor and killer lore. Meet Jake Park. Jake Park is one of the original survivors in Dead by Daylight, and his story is about pressure, isolation, and learning how to disappear. Jake Park grew up as the son of a wealthy CEO, which came with expectations he never wanted. When his older brother graduated with honors from Yale, the pressure on Jake only increased. Jake wasn't interested in academics, but his father refused to accept that. Eventually, Jake rebelled by dropping out of school entirely. He cut ties with his father and chose to live off the grid, deep in the woods. Years passed without contact, except for the occasional check-in with his mother. When Jake stopped responding altogether, his mother contacted the police. Authorities claimed Jake had gotten lost in the woods. A search party was sent out, but bad weather moved in and the search was called off. Despite his mother's protests, the search was never resumed. Jake Park was officially declared another casualty of the wilderness. Jake's perks focus on stealth, pain tolerance, and interfering with the killer. Calm Spirit prevents crows from being startled unless stepped on, suppresses screams from all causes, and removes sound from unlocking chests and cleansing or blessing totems. In exchange, it reduces interaction speed with chests and totems by 40, 35, or 30%. Iron Will reduces the volume of grunts of pain while injured by 80, 90, or 100%. It cannot be used while exhausted, but it does not cause exhaustion itself. And Saboteur reveals the aura of all hooks within 65 meters when the killer is carrying a survivor, showing normal hooks in white and scourge hooks in yellow. It also allows Jake to sabotage hooks without a toolbox, increasing sabotage speed by 30% with a cooldown of 70, 65, or 60 seconds. Jake survives by blending in, enduring pain, and making it harder for the killer to finish the job. Don't forget to like and follow for more survivor and killer lore in Dead by Daylight. Meet Dwight Fairfield. Dwight Fairfield is one of the original survivors in Dead by Daylight, and his story explains why his perks focus on teamwork, awareness, and staying close to others. Dwight was awkward and scrawny throughout high school. He wanted to fit in, but he never had the charisma or confidence to be accepted. He tried joining sports teams, but was either cut or ignored, and his grades were below average. As an adult, Dwight ended up working a dead-end job with little direction in life. During a company team-building retreat, Dwight's boss led the group deep into the woods and began serving homemade moonshine. Dwight remembers taking his first drink and then waking up alone the next morning. At some point during the night, his coworkers had abandoned him. Once again, the outsider, Dwight tried to hike his way out of the woods. That was the last time anyone ever heard from Dwight Fairfield. Dwight's perks are all about coordination and efficiency when working with other survivors. Bond reveals the aura of all other survivors within 20, 28, or 36 meters, allowing Dwight to easily locate teammates. Leader increases the action speeds of nearby survivors within 8 meters by 15, 20, or 25% for actions like repairing, healing, cleansing, sabotaging, unhooking, and opening gates. The effect lingers for 15 seconds after leaving the area, and survivors can only be affected by one leader at a time. Prove Thyself increases generator speed by 6, 8, or 10% for each additional survivor within 4 meters, stacking up to a maximum of 18, 24, or 36%. This bonus applies to all survivors in range and does not stack with another Prove Thyself. Dwight survives by staying close to others, sharing information, and turning teamwork into his greatest strength. Don't forget to like and follow for more survivor and killer lore in Dead by Daylight. Meet Nia Carlson. Nia Carlson was a teenager who didn't want to leave her life behind, and that refusal is what led her into the fog. Nia Carlson grew up in the small town of Ljus, Sweden. She had a happy childhood even though her parents worked very hard. As plans to move to the United States became real, Nia began to change. Her parents didn't recognize it as a reaction to being forced to leave her friends and her life behind. At 16, Nia started rebelling. She dyed her hair black, changed her appearance, and pulled away from what her parents considered normal. She found refuge in skate parks and late nights. Her tag mushtiques began appearing all over her new hometown, especially on the government buildings. Eventually, Nia's parents became used to her disappearing for days at a time. One night, her friends dared her to tag the old asylum. She went inside and was never seen again. Now Nia does whatever she can to survive the dangers of the entity. Nia comes with 3 perks. Balanced landing reduces the stagger duration after falling from a height by 75%, suppresses all noises associated with falling, and grants a 50% haste status effect for 3 seconds upon landing. Balanced landing causes exhaustion for 60, 50, or 40 seconds and cannot be used while exhausted. Streetwise increases the efficiency of your items by 15, 20, or 25%. This effect extends to all other survivors within 8 meters of your location and lingers for 15 seconds. Urban evasion increases crouching movement speed by 90, 95, or 100%. Nia survives by staying low, moving carefully, and never standing still for too long. Don't forget to like and follow for more survivor and killer lore in Dead by Daylight. Meet Laurie Strode. Laurie Strode was an ordinary teenager whose life changed during a single night of babysitting. You never really know what matters in life until you realize it might end soon. Laurie Strode wanted a quiet life in the suburbs. She spent time with friends and family, did her homework, and thought about going on a date or two. She was liked by her friends, teachers, and family. Laurie was a typical teenager, someone you could pass on the street and not think twice about. One night while babysitting, everything changed. A knife cutting through the air, screams echoing from somewhere nearby, noises that played tricks on her mind. That night followed Laurie. It changed how she saw the world and what it meant to survive. But Laurie didn't give up. Even when fear surrounded her, she kept going. Laurie comes with 3 perks. Decisive Strike activates after being unhooked or unhooking yourself and remains active for 40, 50, or 60 seconds. When grabbed or picked up by the killer during this time, succeeding a skill check stabs the killer, stunning them for 4 seconds, and allows you to escape their grasp. Using Decisive Strike causes you to become the next obsession. Decisive Strike deactivates once the exit gates are powered, is disabled for the remainder of the trial after use, and is deactivated prematurely if you perform a conspicuous action. It also increases your chance of becoming the initial obsession by 100%. The killer can only be obsessed with 1 survivor at a time. Object of Obsession reveals the killer's aura to you whenever the killer reads your aura, for the same duration as their aura reading action. It increases your cleansing, healing, and repairing action speeds by 2, 4, or 6%. If you are the killer's current obsession, your aura is revealed to the killer for 3 seconds every 30 seconds. It also increases your chance of becoming the initial obsession by 100%. The killer can only be obsessed with 1 survivor at a time. Sole Survivor gains 1 token each time a survivor other than yourself is killed or sacrificed, up to a maximum of 3 tokens. Each token grants a stackable radius of 20, 22, or 24 meters around you, up to 60, 66, or 72 meters. Within each, you are immune to the killer's aura reading abilities. When you're the last survivor standing, Sole Survivor increases your repair speed by 75% and increases your gate and hatch opening speeds by 50%. It also increases your chances of becoming the initial obsession by 100%. The killer can only be obsessed with one survivor at a time. Lori survives by enduring fear and refusing to stop, even when escape feels impossible. The Halloween chapter, including Laurie Strode, will be removed from Dead by Daylight on January 19th, 2026, meaning the content will no longer be available to new players after that date. Haddonfield will also be removed from map rotation. Any map offerings used to send players to Haddonfield will become unusable once the chapter is gone, so if you have them, it's best to use them before it's too late. Don't forget to like and follow for more Survivor and Killer lore in Dead by Daylight. Meet Ace Visconti. Ace Visconti lived his entire life on luck, and eventually it ran out. Ace Visconti was a charming man with sharp Italian looks, silver-streaked hair, and a way with words that could disarm almost anyone. He could have passed for a movie star from another era. Ace grew up poor in Argentina, but he never stayed that way for long. He gambled, scammed, seduced, and smooth-talked his way into a life of luxury as a high roller in the land of opportunity. Money never stayed with Ace for very long, but he always believed he could win more. Over time, his debts began to pile up, and not with the kind of people who were willing to wait. When they finally came to collect, Ace was gone. No one ever found out who warned him or where he ran to, but anyone who knew Ace Visconti agreed on one thing: no matter the odds, he would survive. Ace comes with 3 perks. Ace in the Hole gives a chance for items retrieved from chests to have add-ons attached. There's a 100% chance for one add-on of very rare rarity or lower, and a 10, 25, or 50% chance of a second add-on of uncommon rarity or lower. Ace in the Hole also allows you to keep any add-ons equipped on your items when escaping. Open-handed increases the radius of all aura reading abilities from yourself or other survivors by 8, 12, or 16 meters. Survivors can only be affected by one instance of open-handed at a time. Up the Ante grants 1 token for every survivor still in the trial. Each token increases the odds of every survivor successfully self-unhooking by a stackable 1, 2, or 3%, up to a maximum of 3, 6, or 9%. Ace survives the way he always has, by trusting luck, even when there's nothing left to bet. Don't forget to like and follow for more Survivor and Killer lore in Dead by Daylight. Meet Bill Overbeck. William Bill Overbeck spent his life fighting wars, and when the world ended, he finally found one that made sense. It took 2 tours in Vietnam, a handful of medals, a kneeful of shrapnel, and an honorable discharge for Bill Overbeck to stop fighting and try to live a peaceful life. He hated it. For decades, Bill drifted through dead-end jobs, never truly settling, never finding a purpose outside of conflict. Then one day, during a routine surgery, Bill woke up to a world that no longer existed. A plague had spread, turning ordinary people into mindless killing machines. Bill didn't hesitate. He fought his way home and put his uniform back on. Traveling through rural ghost towns and pitch-black forests, he found other survivors. Together they ran from the infected, doing whatever it took to stay alive. In the end, Bill stayed behind to make sure the others escaped. His body was never found. Bill was left for dead, and no one knows that he still has the only thing he ever wanted: an enemy to fight. Bill comes with 3 perks. Borrowed Time activates when you unhook a survivor. The survivor you rescue has an endurance status effect extended by 6, 8, or 10 seconds, and their haste status effect extended by 10 seconds. Left Behind activates once you are the last survivor standing. While active, the aura of the hatch is revealed to you within 24, 28, or 32 meters. Unbreakable allows you once per trial to completely recover from the dying state. It also increases your recovery speed by 25, 30, or 35%. Bill survives by standing his ground, holding the line, and fighting until there's nothing left to fight. Don't forget to like and follow for more Survivor and Killer lore in Dead by Daylight. Meet Fang Min. Fang Min didn't escape into video games to avoid life. She escaped because it's the only place she felt understood. Fang Min was still a child when she first picked up computer games. The worlds she entered were loud, colorful, and alive. They let her be somewhere else, someone else. At first, her parents didn't mind, but as minutes turned into hours and hours into days, they forced her to step away from the screen and focus on her studies. Fang felt trapped. Her parents refused to see a future in video games, so she left home. She spent her time in internet cafes and at LAN parties where the old rules didn't didn't apply. She trained constantly, playing, streaming, and competing until she earned a name for herself. Known as the Shining Lion, Fang Min was invited to join a prestigious esports team and live in their dorms. For the first time, she felt respected. She pushed herself harder and harder. Sleep mattered less than winning. Stadiums filled with fans, but the pressure never stopped growing. Eventually, she pushed too far. She slept too little. Her performance slipped as she began to lose. Fear took over. Fear of disappointing her parents, and fear of disappointing the people who believed in her. Fang spiraled. She wandered the streets, visited bars, and woke up in places she didn't remember. One day she woke up somewhere else entirely, a place that never ends. And instead of giving up, Fang Min realized something, that this was what she had trained for all along. Fang Min comes with 3 perks. Alert reveals the killer's aura for 3, 4, or 5 seconds whenever the killer performs a break or damage action. Leth activates after performing a rushed vault, granting a 50% haste status effect for 3 seconds. Leth causes the exhausted status effect for 60, 50, or 40 seconds and cannot be used while exhausted. Technician reduces the audible range of your generator repair noises by 8 meters. It suppresses the explosion and loud noise notification when failing a skill check. Failing a skill check causes the generator to instantly regress by 5, 4, or 3% of its maximum possible progression, in addition to the default penalty. Fang survives by treating the fog like a challenge, learning its rules, adapting, and refusing to quit. Don't forget to follow and like for more Survivor and killer lore in Dead by Daylight. Meet David King. David King had every advantage in life and still chose the path that hurt the most. David King grew up in Manchester as the only child of a wealthy family. From a young age, he showed real potential in both sports and academics. With his family's connections, every door was open to him, but David had a combative nature. He lived for the adrenaline rush of a fight and often went looking for one. His strength and athleticism led him to rugby, where his aggression finally had an outlet. David excelled and quickly gained a reputation as a promising but reckless rookie. That future ended suddenly, as losing his temper, David assaulted a referee and was banned from the league for life. David wasn't concerned. With money to fall back on, he treated it like an early retirement. He spent his time drinking at the pub, watching games, and getting into fights. Few people knew he worked as an occasional debt collector or fought in underground bare-knuckle matches. When David King stopped showing up, no one was surprised. They assumed he'd finally picked a fight he couldn't win, and in a way, they were right. David King comes with 3 perks. Dead Hard activates after being unhooked or unhooking yourself. While injured and running, you can press the active ability button to gain the endurance status effect for half a second. Dead Hard activates after use, causes the exhausted effect for 60, 50, or 40 seconds and cannot be used while exhausted. No Mither applies permanently during the trial. You suffer from the broken status effect, suppress the creation of pools of blood, and reduce the volume of grunts of pain while injured or dying by 25, 50, or 75%. It increases your recovery speed by 15, 20, or 25% and unlocks the ability to fully recover from the dying state. And We're Gonna Live Forever activates when healing a dying survivor. It increases your healing speed by 100%. Any dying survivor healed back to the injured state gains the endurance status effect for 6, 8, or 10 seconds. This effect can only be triggered once every 30 seconds. David survives the same way he always has, by taking the hit and standing back up. Don't forget to like and follow for more Survivor and killer lore in Dead by Daylight. Meet Quentin Smith. When Quentin Smith realized Freddy was still alive, he knew their victory had never really been a victory at all. When Quentin heard that Nancy's mother had disappeared, he understood immediately what it meant. Freddy Krueger had beaten death again. Quentin refused to give up. If they didn't find a way to stop Freddy for good, it was only a matter of time before Nancy was lost too. He disappeared into libraries, asking for books no one else wanted, texts on shared dream worlds, lucid dreaming, and controlling the dream space. To stay awake, Quentin relied on pills and energy drinks, pushing his body past its limits. Freddy eventually found him. At first, Freddy stayed at the edges of Quentin's dreams, taunting him, waiting for him to break, but Quentin noticed something. Cracks in the dream, flaws he could use to escape. One night, Quentin found himself back in Bedham preschool. Freddy stopped playing and came for him. Quentin ran through the halls, found a can of paint thinner, and set a trap. He lured Freddy in, ignited the corridor, and ran for an exit he knew was there. The cracks sealed shut, the escape vanished. Cornered again, Quentin focused on one thought, wanting Freddy gone forever. When the fog cleared, he was somewhere else entirely, cold, unfamiliar, a campfire flickering nearby. Other people were there too, and Quentin understood that they needed his help. Quentin comes with 3 perks. Pharmacy activates whenever you're injured. It increases chest unlocking speed by 40, 60, or 80%, reduces the hearing range of unlocking noises by 8 meters, and guarantees an emergency medikit when unlocking a chest. Vigil increases the recovery rate from blindness, broken, exhausted, exposed, hemorrhage, hindered, mangled, and oblivious by 20, 25, or 30%. This effect extends to all survivors within 8 meters of your location and lingers for 15 seconds. Wake Up activates once all the generators are completed. It reveals the aura of exit gate switches within 128 meters. While opening an exit gate, your aura is revealed to all other survivors within 128 meters. Wake Up also increases opening gate speed by 15, 20, or 25%. Quentin survives by staying awake, staying alert, and refusing to let the nightmare end on Freddy's terms. Don't forget to like and follow for more survivor and killer lore in Dead by Daylight. Meet Detective David Tapp. Detective David Tapp was one of the good ones, and that's what ultimately broke him. Detective David Tapp built his life around doing the right thing. He spent years bringing killers to justice and making sure victims were not forgotten. When the Jigsaw case crossed his desk, it didn't seem special at first, just another violent criminal with a taste for theatrics. A breakthrough led Tapp and his partner Detective Stephen Singh to an abandoned mannequin factory. There, they discovered Jigsaw's lair. They apprehended the suspect, but he escaped before unmasking. As he fled, he slashed Tapp's throat. Singh chased after him alone and was killed by a booby trap. Tapp had entered the building without a warrant. That single decision cost the detective his life. Tapp was discharged from the force. His throat was ruined and the guilt never left him. He turned that guilt into obsession. He would find the killer, stop the murders, and avenge his partner. Following the evidence brought him to Dr. Lawrence Gordon. Tapp staked out the apartment and convinced the truth would reveal itself. One night, he saw a stranger at the window and heard gunshots. He gave chase, following the man into an industrial building. Age caught up with him. A fight he once would have won ended with Tapp shot in the chest. As he collapsed, all he felt was failure. More people would die, and he believed it would be his fault. He closed his eyes. When he opened them again, the concrete beneath him was gone. There was dirt, leaves, a dark sky. Screams echoed through the forest. And then with them came clarity. Victims still needed justice. Killers still needed to be stopped. Whatever this place was, David Tapp was still a cop. Detective Tapp comes with 3 perks. Detective's Hunch reveals the aura of generators, chests, and totems within 32, 48, or 64 meters for 10 seconds each time a generator is completed. If you're holding a map, any objects revealed by Detective's Hunch are automatically tracked by it. Stakeout gains 1 token every 15 seconds you are within the killer's terror radius while not being chased, up to a maximum of 2, 3, or 4 tokens. When Stakeout has at least 1 token, good skill checks consume 1 token and count as great skill checks, granting an additional 1% progression bonus. Great skill checks do not consume tokens. Tenacity increases your crawling speed by 30, 40, or 50%, allows you to crawl and recover at the same time, and reduces the volume of grunts of pain while in the dying state by 75%. Tapp survives by holding on to the one thing he never let go of, the need to stop killers and to protect the innocent. Don't forget to like and follow for more survivor and killer lore in Dead by Daylight. Meet Kate Denson. Kate Denson learned early that a song could change how people felt, and she spent her whole life trying to give others a moment of peace. One of Kate's earliest memories was standing in front of her family singing a song she had learned at school and watching them smile. That was the moment she knew what she wanted to do with her life. She practiced constantly, learned guitar as soon as she could hold one, and was performing for crowds by the age of 8. Her mother supported her dream, driving her across Pennsylvania through the South and even to Nashville. Kate won competitions and talent shows, but winning was never the point. She didn't want others to lose. She just wanted to make people happy, even if only for a short time. As she got older, Kate found freedom on the road. She bought an old Chevy truck and traveled alone, playing shows, meeting people, and ending long days with a quiet drink and her guitar. She sang about friendship, family, love, and home, and she meant every word. Kate always returned home to help her community and entertain local children with stories from her travels. The woods near her town were where she found her deepest inspiration. She often walked off the beaten path to a natural hollow surrounded by trees, a place that felt ancient and alive. There she played and wrote songs, letting the forest quiet her thoughts. One day the music changed. The song she played was darker, more melancholy, but something compelled her to finish it. The forest responded. The trees stretched and moved, spider-like legs ascending from above, reaching for her. Kate tried to fight back, back, but the creature's skin was as hard as iron. The fog rolled in, lifting her into the darkness. When it cleared, there was no sign of her. Only an acoustic guitar remained, engraved with flowers and the initials KD. Kate comes with 3 perks. Boil over, activates while you're being carried by the killer. It increases the strength of the struggle effect from your wiggling by 60, 70, or 80%. Suppresses the killer's ability to read the aura of hooks within 16 meters and grants 33% of your current wiggle progression if the killer drops from a height. Dance with Me activates after performing a rushed action to vault a window or exit a locker. It suppresses the creation of scratch marks for 3 seconds and has a cooldown of 30, 25, or 20 seconds. Windows of Opportunity reveals the aura of breakable walls, pallets, and windows within 24, 28, or 32 meters. Kate survives by finding her way through chaos the same way she always has, by listening closely and moving forward. Don't forget to like and follow for more Survivor and Killer lore in Dead by Daylight. Meet Adam Francis. Adam Francis believed education could give him a future somewhere else. He never expected it to take him this far. Adam was born in Rollington Town in Kingston, Jamaica. When he was 2 years old, his father died in a car accident, and Adam was taken in by his uncle. His uncle was strict but fair, and he raised Adam to value education above all else. At Kingston College, Adam discovered his father's published literary work. That discovery ignited his love for literature. The campus focused heavily on athletics, and Adam stood out as a quiet student with his nose buried in books. He became a target for bullies. When Adam lacked in sports, he made up for in grit. He learned to defend himself and endure. During his college years, Adam began imagining a life beyond Jamaica. While his friends gravitated towards music, Adam followed a more certain path. His grades earned him admission to higher education, and there was demand for teachers overseas. After graduating, Adam taught extra classes to afford applications fees abroad. His life became a cycle of long commutes, grading papers, late-night lesson plans, and early mornings. After a year, he secured a teaching position in southern Japan. Life in Kagoshima was overwhelming at first. His Japanese was basic, daily tasks took hours, and lesson plans relied on concepts he still had to learn. But slowly, Adam adjusted. One morning, riding the train to work, he realized he no longer needed to study the map. He felt connected to his students. He had even planned his first vacation. Seconds later, everything changed. The train derailed, rails screamed, luggage flew, and the floor twisted beneath him. Adam was thrown forward as the train flipped. He landed on shattered glass and saw a door flying toward the passenger. Adam rolled into its path so it would hit him instead. He braced for impact. Nothing came. When he opened his eyes, the train was gone. A heavy fog filled the space, cold spreading through his body. He drifted. Adam Francis was never found. Only his bag remained. His uncle still believes Adam survived. Adam comes with 3 perks. Autodidact grants 1 token when you succeed a skill check while healing another survivor, up to 3, 4, or 5 tokens. Great healing skill checks are suppressed. Good healing skill checks grant healing progress based on the number of tokens. At 0 tokens, negative 15%, 1 token, 0%, 2 tokens, 15%, 3 tokens, 30%, 4 tokens, 45%, and 5 tokens, 60%. Autodidact is inactive when using a medkit. Deliverance activates after safely unhooking another survivor. It allows you to perform a successful self-unhook during the first stage hook. After unhooking yourself, you suffer from the broken status effect for 180 or 60 seconds. Deliverance cannot be used during the second hook stage or if you are the last survivor standing, and it is disabled for the remainder of the trial after use. Diversion charges while inside of the killer's terror radius without being chased. After charging for 30, 25, or 20 seconds, you can activate it by pressing the active ability button while crouched and motionless to throw a pebble. This creates a distraction 20 meters away, triggers a loud noise notification, and creates fake scratch marks. Diversion deactivates after use and resets its timer. Adam survives by learning, adapting, and stepping forward when others can't. Don't forget to like and follow for more Survivor and Killer lore in Dead by Daylight. Meet Jeff Johansson. Jeff spent most of his life trying to disappear quietly. In the end, that's exactly what he did. Jeff Johansson was born and raised in Ormond, Alberta. He grew up as a quiet, anxious only child who avoided large crowds. In high school, his anxiety was mistaken for shyness. Jeff hid behind a stoic, intimidating exterior that kept bullies and teachers at a distance. At home, things weren't any better. His parents fought constantly, and Jeff retreated into heavy metal music and art. Album covers inspired him to draw, and creating art became a way of coping. To escape home, Jeff took a job at a small video store. With few customers, he spent hours behind the counter sketching. One night, a regular noticed his work and offered him a paid job, painting a mural for a gang at an abandoned lodge up in Mount Ormond. Jeff painted the word Legion in runny, bloody letters. He was paid $50 in a 12-pack. It was his first commission. After his parents divorced, Jeff moved with his mother to Winkler, Manitoba, far from Ormond. Far from his father, he became more isolated than ever. Music saved him again. He worked at a local bar, found a roadie job, and left town. Years later, Jeff was injured during a concert fight. Doctors warned he could lose his eyesight and told him to stay put. Forced to slow down, Jeff reassessed his life. He went back to school. Art school. His vision recovered, but cautiously. He studied multiple mediums and eventually settled into oil painting and digital art. Jeff built a quiet life. He brewed beer, adopted a rescue dog, designed tattoos, and freelanced album covers. Then came a phone call from Ormond. His father had passed away. Jeff returned home. Inside his father's house, he found a vintage black guitar with a note that read, "For my boy." He stayed longer than planned. Memories pulled him back to Mount Ormond. He bought a 12-pack and drove to the lodge. No one heard from Jeff again. His dog waited, then wandered, following the last familiar scent it knew. Jeff comes with 3 perks. Aftercare permanently reveals the aura of the last 1, 2, or 3 survivors you've unhooked, been unhooked by, healed, or been healed by. Those survivors also see your aura. Aftercare resets when you are hooked. Breakdown activates whenever you are unhooked or unhook yourself. It reveals the killer's aura for 4, 5, or 6 seconds and instantly breaks the hook. Broken hooks take 180 seconds to respawn. Distortion. Start the trial with 1 token. When the killer attempts to read your aura, 1 token is consumed to block aura reading and suppress scratch marks for 8, 10, or 12 seconds. For every 30 seconds spent in chase, Distortion regains 1 token up to 2. Distortion does not activate while in the dying state. Jeff survives by staying unseen, holding onto memories, and trying not to be erased. Don't forget to like and follow for more Survivor and Killer lore in Dead by Daylight. Meet Jane Romero. Jane built a life in front of millions of people while quietly falling apart behind the camera. Jane was the daughter of a famous actress, Loretta Lawrence, a woman she barely knew. Her parents separated when Jane was still a baby, and she was raised by her father, a struggling visual artist. Jane grew up torn between resentment for her mother's absence and admiration for her presence on screen. As a teenager, she quietly chased that same spark. She directed and performed in plays, auditioned for commercials, and helped her father in his studio. During her senior year, Jane entered a national oratory contest and won. Her performance caught the attention of a radio station where she impressed the staff during a live interview and was offered a part-time job. After graduating in communication, Jane left the station to work on a trendy variety show. Her honesty and ad-libs didn't sit well with executives, and she was fired after 5 months. She pitched her own show back at the radio station. It was rejected, too risky. Months later, a producer called. Jane was offered a co-host position on a struggling show called Quick Talk. Live television was demanding, unstable, and underpaid, but it gave Jane a voice. She challenged the show's tone, pushed for real conversations, and the audience responded. 2 years later, The Jane Romero Show aired nationally. It tackled taboo topics, including Jane's own feelings of abandonment. Her initials JR became a brand, but the pressure never eased. Jane published a memoir about her childhood. It sold instantly, and it was torn apart by critics. Despite success, doubt began to creep in. Her schedule became relentless. During a tense week, she canceled an episode and launched a 2-hour special on divorce. Then she learned her mother had agreed to appear on the show. Jane kept smiling. During the interview, Loretta revealed they were not related. The broadcast unraveled. Afterwards, Jane drove toward her father's house, exhausted, medicated, and overwhelmed. Black ice covered the highway. Night blurred her vision. The next morning, her car was pulled from the water. Jane Romero's body was never found. Her show was suspended, then rerun. As the public mourned, her brand surged. Episodes re-released with a message wishing her eternal peace. Jane comes with 3 perks. Head On. Activates after hiding in a locker for 3 seconds. Performing a rush exit stuns a nearby killer for 3 seconds. Head On causes the exhausted effect for 60, 50, or 40 seconds and cannot be used while exhausted or when you have idle crows. Poised. Activates whenever a generator is completed. For 10, 12, or 14 seconds, your scratch marks are suppressed. When you first begin repairing a generator, the killer's aura is revealed to you for 6 seconds. Solidarity. Activates while injured and healing another survivor without using a medkit. You passively heal yourself at 50, 60, or 70% of your altruistic healing speed. Jane survives by holding herself together long enough for others to see strength, even when she feels none. Don't forget to like and follow for more Survivor and Killer lore in Dead by Daylight. Meet Ash Williams. Ash survived the end of the world more than once. Running from it never worked. Ash's life changed during a weekend at a cabin in the woods. There, he uncovered the Necronomicon Ex Mortis, the Book of the Dead. Evil awakened. His friends were possessed and Ash was forced to kill them. Even his own right hand turned against him, and he cut it off. For the next 30 years, Ash ran. He worked retail, drank too much, and tried to forget what he'd done. Then one night, while high, he read from the Necronomicon to impress a woman. Evil found him again. The people around him paid the price, but with help from Pablo, who was raised by a shaman, and Kelly, who had lost her parents to the Deadites, Ash fought back. During the chaos, Ash was reunited with his daughter, Brandy. She pushed him to accept what he's always resisted, that he was meant to fight this. After a brutal battle with a fully formed demon, Ash collapsed, drawing his last breath. He was taken by the Knights of Sumeria and sent into the future. He woke disoriented, hungover, and hearing a woman singing. Ash followed the voice into a locker room. There he saw Linda Emery, someone he had lost long ago. She wasn't real. The demon attacked. Ash fought back badly, injured and overwhelmed. In desperation, he made a deal: spare the demon in exchange for being set back to his friends. The ritual failed. Instead, the floor collapsed beneath them, swallowing the demon and Ash alike. Ash landed hard in a place he didn't recognize. Grass in his mouth, no chainsaw, no shotgun, just fog. And he stood up. A scream echoed through the trees. Groovy. Ash comes with 3 perks. Buckle Up activates when healing a survivor in the dying state. The killer's aura is revealed to both of you. Completing the heal suppresses the survivor's scratch marks and grants them a 50% haste status effect for 3, 4, or 5 seconds. Buckle Up does not cause the exhausted effect. Flip Flop allows recovery progress in the dying state to also charge the wiggle meter at 50% of the recovery rate, up to a maximum of 40, 45, or 50% wiggle progression. Medal of Man activates after you take your 3rd protection hit. While injured, the next time you would go down, that damage is prevented. After healing to full health, your aura is revealed to the killer whenever you are further than 12, 14, or 16 meters away. Medal of Man deactivates the next time you are put into the dying state and increases your chances of becoming the initial obsession. Ash survives the fog the same way he always has: hurt, exhausted, and still standing. Don't forget to like and follow for more survivor and killer lore in Dead by Daylight. Meet Nancy Wheeler. Nancy never stopped asking questions. That's what brought her here. Nancy was always both studious and rebellious. She had a sharp mind, a stubborn streak, and an instinct for uncovering the truth. When her friend Barb went missing, Nancy refused to let it be forgotten. She chased leads, asked questions no one wanted answered, and pushed forward even when she was dismissed or talked down to. As a journalist, Nancy faced inequality and chauvinism at every turn, but it didn't stop her. If anything, it sharpened her focus. One night, while pursuing a lead on her own, Nancy approached Hawkins National Laboratory. She didn't hesitate. She didn't back down. Suddenly, she lost consciousness. When Nancy woke up, she wasn't in Hawkins anymore. A thick mist surrounded her, and somewhere in the distance, a familiar roar echoed through the air. Nancy had followed the truth as far as it would take her. Now she had to survive what she found. Nancy comes with 3 perks. Better Together highlights the aura of the generator you are repairing in yellow to all other survivors within 32 meters. When the killer downs a survivor while you're repairing a generator, the aura of all the other survivors are revealed to you for 8, 9, or 10 seconds. Fixated increases your walking speed by 10, 15, or 20% and allows you to see your own scratch marks. Inner Strength activates each time you cleanse a totem. While injured or suffering from the deep wound status effect, hiding inside a locker for 10, 9, or 8 seconds automatically heals you 1 health state. Inner Strength does not activate if you are affected by the broken status effect. Nancy survives by staying focused, trusting her instincts, and refusing to stop looking for answers. Don't forget to like and follow from our survivor and killer lore in Dead by Daylight. Meet Steve Harrington. Steve never meant to be a hero. He just kept showing up. Steve was known for being popular, confident, and sometimes arrogant, but beneath that exterior was someone deeply loyal and protective. Over time, Steve became a mentor to a younger boy named Dustin. He helped him search for his strange interdimensional pet, D'Artagnan, and slowly took on the role of an older brother. That reputation grew. Steve became the one who stayed behind, who stepped in, who watched over a group of kids in Hawken who had a bad habit of getting involved with dangerous things. When monsters came for them, Steve didn't run. He stood his ground, even managing to fend off a demigorgon when it threatened his friends. One evening, Steve received a call from Nancy Wheeler asking for help. Without hesitation, he drove to Hawkins National Laboratory to find her. Nancy was gone. All Steve found was her notebook, but before he could react, the ground beneath him split open. Black mist swallowed his vision, and when Steve woke up, he was somewhere else. A place that felt familiar and completely wrong. Once again, Steve Harrington was alone, and once again, someone needed protecting. Steve comes with 3 perks. Babysitter activates whenever you unhook a survivor. The killer's aura is revealed to you for 8 seconds. The unhooked survivor instead gains suppressed scratch marks and pools of blood, and their haste speed status effect is increased by 10% for 20, 25, or 30 seconds. Camaraderie activates when you are hooked and enter the struggle phase. If another survivor comes within 16 meters of your hook, the struggle phase timer is paused for 26, 30, or 34 seconds. Second wind activates after you heal another survivor for the equivalent of 1 health state. The next time you are unhooked or unhook yourself, you suffer from the broken status effect until second wind deactivates. After 28, 24, or 20 seconds, you are automatically healed 1 health state. Second wind deactivates if the heal completes or if you're not put into the dying state before the timer ends. It does not activate if you are already affected by the broken status. Steve survives by staying close, stepping in, and never walking away when someone needs him. Don't forget to like and follow for more survivor and killer lore in Dead by Daylight. Meet Yui Kimura. Yui was told what she should be. She chose speed instead. Yui grew up in Hida, raised in a traditional household where expectations were already decided for her. Racing wasn't one of them. Her father tried to guide her away from what he believed were improper pursuits, but her grandmother quietly shared something else. Her grandfather's old engineering manuals, notes on engines, mechanics, machines. Yui learned fast. Not just how to maintain her scooter, but how to modify it. With her grandfather's good luck hachimaki tied to her arm, she raced local boys and beat them, even when they tried to work together to stop her. When it came time to apply for school, Yui told her father she wanted to race motorcycles. The argument that followed ended with her being told she was no longer welcome at home. With only her grandmother's savings and blessing, Yui left for Nagoya. The city was harsher than she expected. The work was degrading, the money was scarce, so Yui turned to illegal street races and started winning. Her skill drew attention. Soon other women began riding with her, all wearing her signature pink. Then came the stalker. When Yui went to the police, they laughed and dismissed her fear. One night, she returned home and found him inside of her apartment, holding a knife. Yui fought back. She survived, though badly injured, but alive. Her gang paid her hospital bills and helped her recover. When she returned to racing, they gave her a new pink hachimaki, signed with messages of support. Yui kept winning. Her gang became the Sakura 7, and then something much larger. At an illegal street race known as TK3, a strange fog rolled in. Yui stopped her bike, stepped off, and realized she wasn't in Tokyo anymore. Yui comes with 3 perks. Any means necessary allows you to reset dropped pallets by standing beside them and holding the active ability button. It also lets you see the auras of all dropped but not yet destroyed pallets. Breakout activates while you are within 5 meters of a killer carrying a survivor. You gain a haste status effect, and the carried survivor's wiggle speed is increased. Lucky Break activates while you are injured. Your scratch marks and pools of blood are suppressed for a limited time. Each second spent healing another survivor recharges Lucky Break up to its maximum duration. Lucky Break deactivates when you are healthy or in the dying state. Yuri survives by moving forward, even when everything tells her to stop. Don't forget to like and follow for more survivor and killer lore in Dead by Daylight. Meet Zarina Kassir. Zarina learned early that being seen could be dangerous. Zarina grew up in a Lebanese household in Brooklyn, caught between 2 cultural identities. At school, she learned to hide who she was. She changed her name, dyed her hair, and rejected anything that made her seem different. At home, the news was always on. Stories of injustice stayed with her. As a teenager, Zarina embraced her real name and her roots. She borrowed her father's camera and began interviewing members of her community in Bay Ridge. By posting her work online, she built a following by letting people speak for themselves. When she heard a rumor about workers being exploited, Zarina went undercover. She worked unpaid for weeks, only to be fired when she demanded her wages. When she released footage of the abuse, her story was twisted by the media, but Zarina didn't stop. Her first major film won a school competition and launched her as a documentary filmmaker. Then her father was killed, captured on surveillance footage, pushed into traffic by a stranger. The man responsible was sentenced lightly. Zarina became obsessed with the truth behind the violence. She spent her inheritance to investigate, bribing her way into a prison interview and documenting a confession. While researching the prison, she uncovered another story. A sealed-off wing tied to the so-called Mad Mick massacre. Disguised as a tourist, Zarina broke away from the group and searched the abandoned section alone. Inside a dark cell, she found a marking on the wall. A loose brick, an old wrench, and then a vision she couldn't escape. Her father bleeding on the pavement. Black fog filled the room. When Zarina opened her eyes again, she was no longer in the prison. Zarina comes with 3 perks. For the People allows you, while healthy and healing another survivor without a med kit, to trade 1 health state with them. They are instantly healed while you become injured and suffer from the broken status effect. You also become the killer's obsession. Off the record activates after being unhooked or unhooking yourself. For a limited time, your aura cannot be revealed, your grunts of pain are suppressed, and you gain the endurance status effect. It deactivates when the exit gates are powered or if you perform a conspicuous action. Red herring highlights a generator after you repair it briefly. Entering a locker triggers a loud noise notification at that generator's location. Red herring then goes on cooldown. Zarina survives by uncovering the truth even when it hurts. Don't forget to like and follow for more Survivor and killer lore in Dead by Daylight. Meet Cheryl Mason. Cheryl survived the cult, but didn't survive the guilt. Cheryl, once known as Heather, tried to rebuild her life after the death of her adoptive father, Harry Mason. She had escaped the religious cult that had pursued her since birth. But freedom came with a cost. Cheryl was haunted by guilt. Every night, it returned as nightmares, punishment disguised as dreams. Looking for a way to make amends, she volunteered at a crisis intervention center for troubled youth. She trained quickly. Within 3 months, she was trusted to answer the crisis line alone. Then came her first call. There was only static. The air around her thickened. Black fumes rose from the floor, and then she heard a voice, one she never expected to hear again. Claudia. She was supposed to be dead. The voice spoke of salvation and corruption. Cheryl's body betrayed her. The room spun. She dropped to her knees, retching blood onto the floor, and then it stopped. When Cheryl looked up, she was no longer in the center. She was somewhere else entirely. A cold place, a hopeless one. The nightmares hadn't ended, they only changed. Cheryl comes with 3 perks. Blood Pact activates when either you or the obsession becomes injured. Your auras are revealed to one another. Healing each other grants both of you a haste status effect while you remain within 16 meters. Blood Pact is disabled if you are the obsession. Repressed Alliance activates after repairing generators for a set amount of time. You can block the generator you are repairing for 30 seconds. The blocked generator's aura is revealed to all survivors. This can only be triggered when no other survivors are repairing that generator. Soul Guard grants the endurance effect after being healed from or recovering from the dying state. While suffering from the cursed status effect, you can fully recover from the dying state. Cheryl survives by enduring what was never meant to leave her. Don't forget to like and follow for more Survivor and killer lore in Dead by Daylight. Meet Felix Richter. Felix built his life on foundations he never fully trusted. Felix was born in Coburg, Germany, to a family of respected physicians with deep connections across the world. His parents were rarely home, traveling constantly for conferences and humanitarian work. From a young age, Felix was exposed to cultures, languages, and architecture that left a lasting impression on him. He wasn't sure when architecture became everything to him, but once it did, there was no turning back. By 23, Felix was already considered an architectural prodigy, winning major awards and earning international recognition. Despite this, he believed his success came more from luck and connections than talent. Felix was introverted and socially awkward, spending most of his childhood in his father's library, studying history and architecture. His father told him stories of a secret society and an ancient fight against a dark force, stories Felix dismissed as fantasy. Every summer, Felix traveled to Dyer Island with his parents. There, he formed a small group of friends who called themselves the Pariahs. While exploring the island, they uncovered an underground laboratory tied to inhumane experiments. A strange fog appeared. Claws burst from the ground. Their parents arrived using unfamiliar tools to protect them. When it was over, the children were safe. Their parents were gone. Felix spent years searching for answers, but every lead failed. Time passed, the pariahs drifted apart. As an adult, Felix became a successful architect, creating a carefully crafted persona to overcome his insecurities. Still, he felt like a fraud. When he learned he was going to be a father, he took on a final project, returning to Dyer Island. There, through a gathering fog, Felix saw his father again. He followed him, and Felix Richter was never seen again. Felix comes with 3 perks. Built to Last activates when you hide inside a locker while carrying a depleted item. The first use recharges the item to 99%. The second use recharges it to 66%. And the third use recharges it to 33%. After the third use, Built to Last is disabled for the remainder of the trial. Desperate Measures increases your action speed for healing and unhooking by 10, 12, or 14% for each injured, hooked, or dying survivor, up to a maximum of 40, 48, or 56%. Visionary reveals the aura of generators within 32 meters. Each time a generator is completed, Visionary is deactivated for 20, 18, or 16 seconds. Felix survived by building forward until the past finally caught up with him. Don't forget to like and follow for more Survivor and killer lore in Dead by Daylight. Meet Elodie Ricotta. Elodie never stopped looking for what was taken from her. Elodie grew up in Paris, far from Madagascar, the homeland of her parents. From a young age, she was more interested in history than schoolwork, exploring the city to uncover the stories hidden in its streets and monuments. When she was 14, her parents brought her to Dyer Island. What she thought would be an adventure turned into forced social gatherings for an elite group known as the Imperiati. There, she met a group of teenagers who called themselves the Pariahs. One foggy night, they explored an abandoned internment camp. Inside, Elodie noticed strange markings on the walls, deep scratches forming a circle. As she touched them, the ground shook. Claws burst through the concrete. Her parents appeared, urging her to run. And then, everything went dark. Elodie never saw her parents again. For years, the memories haunted her. As she grew older, she searched for explanations beyond logic, studying legends of a dark force that stole people without a trace. She collected artifacts and translated ancient texts, believing the same entity had taken her parents. Her search led her to work for an occult collector, retrieving rare relics from dangerous places. One such task brought her into the Paris catacombs, where she was attacked by a member of the Black Veil. Wounded and fading, Elodie drew a circle on the ground. Just as she had seen years before, the world changed, the warmth vanished, the ground collapsed. Elodie finally found what she had been searching for. Elodie comes with 3 perks. Appraisal. You start the trial with 3 tokens. Consume 1 token to rummage through an already unlocked chest to receive a second item. Rummaging speed is increased by 40, 60, or 80%. Deception. Interacting with a locker while holding the sprint button prevents you from entering it. The locker doors open and close, triggering a loud noise notification. Your scratch marks and pools of blood are suppressed for 3 seconds. Deception has a cooldown of 30, 25, or 20 seconds. Power struggle. While in the dying state, the auras of the available pallets are revealed to you. While being carried by the killer, reaching 25, 20, or 15% wiggle progression allows you to drop a nearby standing pallet to stun the killer and escape. Power struggle deactivates after triggering. Elodie survived by chasing the truth, no matter where it led. Don't forget to like and follow for more Survivor and killer lore in Dead by Daylight. Meet Yunjin Lee. Yun was born into poverty, surrounded by debt, loss, and responsibility long before she was ready for it. When creditors took her family's home, she became a caretaker overnight, raising her younger sister while her parents worked endlessly to survive. Music was her escape, something she created quietly, without praise or recognition. At 17, Yun entered the music industry through an unpaid internship. For years, she produced hit after hit while remaining invisible. Her work succeeded, but her name never appeared, so she made herself impossible to ignore. By branding herself a magnum opus, Yun forced the industry to see her value. She was placed in charge of a failing boy band, No Spin, and rebuilt them from the ground up. But commercial success wasn't enough. She wanted something dangerous, something unforgettable. She found it in Ji Woon Hak. Under her direction, No Spin became a phenomenon. Fame followed, wealth followed, and then disaster struck. A fire consumed the studio. Every member of the band died except Ji-woon. As Yoon rebuilt her career, something felt wrong. Murders began appearing wherever he toured. Sounds of the crimes appeared in his music, recorded before the killings happened. She saw the pattern, and she chose to ignore it. When the executives turned against her artist, Yoon agreed to one final showcase. It was a trap. Paralyzed in her seat, she watched Yoon Jin slaughter the executives who once controlled her life. As everything she built burned again, black fog rose around her, and for the first time, the spotlight was hers alone. Yun comes with 3 perks. Fast Track. Whenever a survivor other than yourself is hooked, Fast Track gains 1, 2, or 3 tokens, up to a maximum of 9, 18, or 27 tokens. Succeeding a Great Repair skill check consumes all tokens. Each token increases the bonus progression of that skill check by 1%. Self-preservation. When another survivor is hit by a basic or special attack within 16 meters of you, self-preservation activates. Your scratch marks, grunts of pain when injured, and bleeding are suppressed for 6, 8, or 10 seconds. Smash Hit. Stunning the killer with a pellet grants a 50% haste status effect for 4 seconds. Smash Hit causes the exhausted status effect for 30, 25, or 20 seconds. Smash Hit cannot be used while exhausted. Yunjin Lee learned that success doesn't come from innocence, it comes from survival. Don't forget to like and follow for more Survivor and killer lore in Dead by Daylight. Meet Jill Valentine. Jill was an elite operative of the Special Tactics and Rescue Service, known for her expertise in lockpicking, bomb disposal, and tactical survival. When a devastating biohazard outbreak tore through Raccoon City, Jill stayed behind to rescue anyone she could, even after escaping the nightmare that destroyed her team. But something was hunting her. the Nemesis, an unstoppable bioengineered super soldier, was deployed with one purpose: eliminate Jill Valentine. It pursued her relentlessly through the ruined city, adapting, recovering, and closing the distance no matter how many times she fought back. Wounded and exhausted, Jill fled into a basement and forced open the lock to a cold storage room, hoping for shelter. Instead, the air turned heavy. Her limbs went numb as a black fog poured into the room, swallowing the walls, the floor, and the exit behind her. The sounds of Raccoon City faded away. Jill did not escape the Nemesis. She escaped something far worse. Jill comes with 3 perks. Blast Mine activates after repairing generators for a total of 40%. While near a partially progressed generator, you can install a trap that stays active for 100, 110, or 120 seconds. When the killer damages the trap generator, it explodes halfway through the action, stunning the killer for 4 seconds and blinding all players within 12.5 meters. The aura of trap generators are revealed to all survivors in yellow. Counterforce increases totem cleansing speed by 20%. Each cleansed totem grants an additional stackable 20% cleansing speed bonus. After cleansing a totem, the aura of the totem farthest from you is revealed for 2, 3, or 4 seconds. Resurgence grants 50, 60, or 70% healing progress after being unhooked or unhooking yourself. Jill survived the outbreak, but survival didn't mean freedom. Don't forget to like and follow for more survivor and killer lore in Dead by Daylight. Meet Leon S. Kennedy. Leon arrived late to his first assignment in Raccoon City, unaware that a biohazard outbreak had already consumed the streets. Instead of a routine patrol, he was forced to fight his way through hordes of the infected, learning how to survive as everything around him collapsed. As he searched for answers, Leon uncovered evidence pointing to the Umbrella Corporation and their role in the disaster. His investigation led him beneath the city into an abandoned Umbrella laboratory hidden from the public. There, Leon found proof of illegal experiments that had transformed Raccoon City into a graveyard. While exploring the facility, a sudden and unnatural black fog filled the corridors. Disoriented and unable to escape, Leon was pulled from the world he knew. He was never seen again. Leon comes with 3 perks. Bite the bullet. While healing yourself or another survivor, all heal noises and grunts of pain are suppressed. Failed healing skill checks do not trigger a loud noise notification, and the healing progression penalty is reduced to 3, 2, or 1%. Flashbang. After repairing generators for a total of 50, 45, or 40%, Flashbang activates. While hiding inside a locker, press the active ability button to craft a flash grenade. Flashbang deactivates after use. Rookie Spirit. While repairing generators, succeed 5, 4, or 3 good or great skill checks to activate Rookie Spirit for the remainder of the trial. While active, the auras of regressing generators are revealed to you until they stop regressing by any means. Leon survives by staying quiet, adapting quickly, and watching for failure before it spreads. Don't forget to like and follow for more survivor and killer lore in Dead by Daylight. Meet Michaela Reed. Michaela Reed was 16 years old when her father died. She mourned the quiet rituals they once had, early morning sailing lessons, inedible but colorful tacos, and his warm, effortless laughter. Grief left her feeling adrift, overwhelmed by waves she could barely endure. With time, care, and the support of her friends, she found her way back to shore. Michaela learned to see the world differently. She discovered storytelling as a way to process fear and survival, gravitating towards horror for its intensity and escape. Autumn became her favorite season. Each Halloween, she hosted elaborate gatherings filled with stories, games, and handmade treats. She grew interested in witchcraft, practicing gentle blessings, divination, and plant-based magic. She guarded herbs to craft soaps and lotions, hoping one day to live from what she created. Until then, she worked as a barista at the Moonstone Cafe, hosting open mic nights where she performed her stories live. Without her knowledge, her closest friend Julian submitted one of her performances to the Endless Halloween Festival. When she received an invitation to perform on Halloween night, she prepared with ritual and focus. But as she wrote, nightmares began. Each night, she dreamt of being dragged into darkness and pierced by a burning hook. Exhaustion drained her magic and her peace. One night, Julian recorded her sleep and witnessed her levitating in terror as something unseen tore through their apartment. The next day, Julian vanished. On Halloween night, alone and afraid, Michaela chose to finish the story she believed in. She took the stage and spoke of loss, fear, and darkness that could still be faced. As she finished, black fog swallowed the stage. Michaela Reed was never seen again. Michaela comes with 3 perks: Circle of Healing, Press and hold the active ability button on a dole or hex totem to bless it and create a boon totem. Soft chimes ring out in a radius of 24 meters. All survivors within the boon totem's radius benefit from increased altruistic healing speeds by 50, 75, or 100% when not using a medikit. If a survivor is injured, their aura is revealed to all other survivors. Survivors can only be affected by one instance of Circle of Healing at a time. Only one totem can be blessed at a time, and all boon effects apply to the same totem. Shadow Step. Press and hold active ability button on a dole or hex totem to bless it and create a boon totem. Soft chimes ring out in a radius of 24 meters. All survivors within the boon totem's radius have their scratch marks suppressed and their auras hidden from the killer. These effects linger for 2, 3, or 4 seconds after leaving the boon totem's range. Only one totem can be blessed at a time, and all boon effects apply to the same totem. Clairvoyance. After cleansing or blessing a totem, Clairvoyance activates. While empty-handed, press and hold the Use Item button to unlock aura reading abilities for up to 8, 9, or 10 seconds. During this time, the auras of chests, exit gate switches, generators, the hatch, and hooks are revealed to you within 64 meters. Michaela survived by confronting the darkness she once only wrote about. Don't forget to like and follow for more Survivor and Killer lore in Dead by Daylight. Meet Jonah Vasquez. Jonah always understood the world through numbers. Patterns, structures, and equations revealed truths others could not see. Where most saw sunsets or buildings, Jonah saw layers of physics playing out in perfect order. Raised in poverty near Fresno, California, his life changed when his father worked relentlessly to provide stability and education. Jonah appeared ordinary to those around him, but in solitude he immersed himself in mathematics, fascinated by sequences and systems that governed existence. On his 16th birthday, Jonah received an unaddressed card containing a string of numbers. He recognized part of it as geographic coordinates leading to Chile, but the rest defied explanation. Unable to solve it, he set it aside and moved on with his life. Years later, Jonah was recruited as a CIA codebreaker. On his first day, the same numbers appeared in his employee handbook. He returned to the puzzle, but even with years of experience, it remained unsolved. Assigned to covert operations in the new democracy of Guantana, Jonah decoded intercepted messages that led to devastating bombings. Only afterward was it revealed the messages were decoys. Civilian casualties were hidden, and Jonah blamed himself. Consumed by guilt, he secretly redirected funds to victims' families. When his actions were discovered, his safe house was attacked. Jonah fled, barely escaping with his life. Back under CIA supervision, he was reassigned to an old project involving mysterious signal stations. The trail led him to hidden codes buried in horror podcasts and stories, all repeating the same messages: sacrifice is rebirth, and once again the numbers returned. Jonah followed the coordinates to a graveyard in Chile. There he finally understood the code. The dates pointed to his birthday and to that very day. As realization set in, the world shifted. Memories of home blurred with impossible visions. Dark fog crept across the ground as crows took flight overhead. By the time Jonah noticed the smell of blood, it was already too late. Jonah comes with 3 perks. Exponential. Press and hold the active ability button on a dole or hex totem to bless it and create a boon totem. Soft chimes ring out in a radius of 24 meters. All survivors within the boon's radius gain a 90, 95, or 100% bonus to recovery speeds. Unlocks the self-recovery ability, allowing survivors to fully recover from the dying state. Only one totem can be blessed at a time, and all boon effects apply to the same totem. Corrective action. You start the trial with 1, 2, or 3 tokens. Whenever you succeed at great skill checks, you gain 1 token up to a maximum of 5 tokens. When another survivor fails a skill check, 1 token is consumed to convert it into a good skill check. The aura of that survivor is revealed to you for 6 seconds. Corrective action does not apply to special skill checks. Overcome. Becoming injured by any means triggers Overcome. The duration of the on-hit speed boost is increased by 2 seconds. Causes the exhaustion status effect for 60, 50, or 40 seconds. Overcome cannot be used while exhausted. Jonah survived by trusting numbers until they led him somewhere they could no longer explain. Don't forget to like and follow for more Survivor and Killer lore in Dead by Daylight. Meet Yoichi Asakawa. Yoichi's life was shaped by the supernatural from childhood. An inexplicable curse claimed both of his parents, leaving behind questions that would never fully rest. From that moment on, Yoichi became attuned to forces he could not explain. As an adult, he graduated with top honors in marine biology from a university in Tokyo and became the youngest professor in school's history. He followed his father's path into the study of the ocean, believing that understanding life beneath the surface might one day explain what had taken his life. His career began to unravel when 2 of his students vanished while conducting research in Izuoshima. The name alone stirred buried memories, distorted faces, twisted mouths, unexplained deaths, and voices calling calling him a monster. From those memories, Sadako emerged, reminding him that the curse was not finished. When the vision passed, something remained. An unseen presence lingering near him, heavy and patient like the breathing of the ocean. Yoichi could not tell whether it was a warning or a threat, only that it was connected to water. He devoted himself to studying the unknown, expanding into parapsychology, theology, folklore, and cryptozoology. His obsession cost him everything. He was ridiculed, dismissed, and eventually expelled from academia. With nowhere else to turn, he continued his research independently, supported by a media company tied to his mother's past. Guided by visions of his father, Yoichi followed a trail of disappearances to a lighthouse off the coast of Scotland. There, amid storms and rising seas, his search ended as waves shattered his vessel and black fog closed in. Climbing the lighthouse steps through rising water, Yoichi was swallowed by the ocean and by whatever intelligence waited within it. Yoichi comes with 3 perks. Dark Theory. Press and hold the active ability button on a dole or hex totem to bless it and create a boon totem. Soft chimes ring out in a radius of 24 meters. All survivors within the boon totem's radius gain a haste status effect. The effect lingers for 2, 3, or 4 seconds after leaving the boon totem's range. Only one totem can be blessed at a time, and all boon effects apply to the same totem. Empathic Connection. Whenever another survivor is injured, they can see your aura within 32, 64, or 96 meters of your location. Increases your altruistic healing speed by 30%. Parental Guidance. After studying the killer by any means, your scratch marks, pools of blood, and grunts of pain are suppressed for 5, 6, or 7 seconds. Yoichi survived by chasing the truth behind the surface, no matter how deep it pulled him. Don't forget to like and follow for more Survivor and Killer lore at Dead by Daylight. Meet Hattie Kaur. Hattie grew up in a home filled with warmth and love. Her mother, Professor Basant-Kaur, taught agricultural science in Trois-Rivières in Quebec. Her father, Rajin Singh, built a successful catering business, and their home was always alive with the sense of spices, fresh bread, and stories of India. On Hattie's 10th birthday, her parents promised her that they would visit Punjab together after the new year. That winter, her parents attended a holiday party with close friends. When Hattie called to say she felt ill, they left early. On the snow-covered backroads of rural Quebec, their car lost control and slid into a frozen forest. Their bodies were not found for 2 days. She was taken in by Maurice and Francois Royce, who's raised her alongside their son Jordan. Though surrounded by love once more, something inside Hattie had changed. She began seeing things others could not, apparitions, shadows, and distorted memories that bled into the world around her. Dark places triggered the visions most strongly, as though another reality pressed against this one. Jordan called those places overlaps. Hattie sensed something living within them. After high school, driven by a pull she could not explain, she and Jordan began documenting haunted locations across Quebec. At the Doria Institute, Hattie experienced residual memories of pain, suffering, and violence layered over reality. She named the encroaching presence the Ravage, a vast mosaic of human suffering feeding on psychic energy. Their recordings became a viral web series. With resources finally available, Hattie traveled the world investigating the most haunted places she could find. On a deserted island town, the Ravage overwhelmed her, manipulating her emotions and visions, nearly driving her away from the work. But the truth followed her. In a World War II bunker in the Alps, Hattie heard cries for help in Punjabi. Snow fell, a tunnel opened. She found her parents' wrecked car, frozen in time. When she tried to save them, they answered the question that had haunted her since childhood. Yes, Betty, we suffered. Ice wrapped around her as darkness swallowed the world. Hattie comes with 3 perks. Inner Focus grants the ability to see the scratch marks of other survivors. Whenever another survivor loses a health state due to the killer's aura is revealed to you for 6, 8, or 10 seconds. Overzealous. After cleaning or blessing a totem, Overzealous activates. Cleansing a totem increases repair speeds by 8, 9, or 10%. Cleansing a hex totem increases repair speed by 16, 18, or 20%. Overzealous deactivates after losing a health state by any means. Residual Manifest. After successfully blinding the killer suffers from the blindness status effect for 20, 25, or 30 seconds. Residual Manifest allows you to rummage through an open chest once per trial and guarantees a basic flashlight. Hattie survived by facing the darkness that had followed her since childhood. Don't forget to like and follow for more Survivor or Killer lore in Dead by Daylight. Meet Ada Wong. Ada Wong was always an enigma. Her past, her nationality, and even her real name were never confirmed. Those who crossed her path could never be certain where her loyalties lay, or if she had any at all. She moved through the world as a shadow, a highly trained operative with expertise in weapons, infiltration, and close quarters combat. At different times, she appeared to oppose the Umbrella Corporation, cooperate with Albert Wesker, or pursue her own objectives entirely. Whether she was a corporate spy, a double agent, or something else altogether was never clear. Ada's trail eventually led her to Spain, where the cult known as Los Illuminados conducted experiments with a parasitic organism called Los Plagas. Her interest in the parasite drew suspicion, and she was captured during her investigation. Chosen for a ritual sacrifice, Ada came close to death beneath the cult's twisted beliefs. She survived, escaping captivity through skill and deception. Ada vanished once more, leaving behind unanswered questions. No evidence confirmed what she recovered, who she worked for, or whether her mission succeeded. Those who searched for her only found fragments, rumors, half-truths, and conflicted reports. In the end, Ada Wong did what she always did. She disappeared, taking her secrets with her. Ada comes with 3 perks. Low profile. Whenever you are the only survivor, not currently incapacitated by being downed, carried, or hooked, low profile activates. Suppresses your grunts of pain and the creation of pools of blood and scratch marks for 70, 80, or 90 seconds. Low profile deactivates after use and only considers survivors still participating in the trial. Reactive healing. Whenever another survivor within 32 meters of your location loses a health state by any means while you are injured, you gain 40, 45, or 50% of your missing healing progression towards your health bar. Wiretap. After repairing generators for a total of 40%, Wiretap activates. Press the active ability button near a partially repaired generator to install a trap for 100, 110, or 120 seconds. Whenever the killer comes within 14 meters of the trap generator, the aura is revealed to all survivors. Wiretap deactivates if the generator is damaged or when the timer expires. The aura of trap generators are revealed to all survivors in yellow. Ada survived by leaving nothing behind. Not even the truth. Don't forget to like and follow for more Survivor and Killer lore in Dead by Daylight. Meet Rebecca Chambers. Rebecca Chambers was a prodigy from an early age. Exceptionally intelligent and disciplined, she graduated from college at just 18 years old. Soon after, she joined the Raccoon City Police Department as a rookie officer, becoming the youngest member of the elite Special Tactics and Rescue Service. Assigned as the field medic for STAR's Bravo team, Rebecca was trained to save lives, not take them. Her first mission sent her into the Arklay Mountains to investigate a series of brutal murders linked to the Arklay Research Facility. What she found instead was something far worse. While exploring an abandoned train, Rebecca encountered reanimated corpses and grotesquely mutated animals, evidence of a biological disaster already out of control. Separated from her team, she fled deeper underground, seeking safety in what she believed was an abandoned Umbrella Corporation facility. Inside, she discovered laboratories filled with horrifying experiments and creatures twisted beyond recognition. Despite the fear closing in around her, Rebecca pressed on, driven by the need to find her missing teammates. Disembodied voices echoed through the darkness, calling out to her. She followed them, hoping they belonged to Bravo team. Instead, she walked straight into a dense, unnatural black fog that rolled through the corridors without warning. As she pushed forward, she heard heavy footsteps behind her. Reaching instinctively for her weapon, she found her holster was empty. Her equipment was gone. Turning just in time, she narrowly avoided a massive club-like weapon crashing into the floor beside her. Rebecca ran towards a flickering light ahead, uncertain whether it promised escape or something far worse. Rebecca comes with 3 perks. Better than new. Completing a healing action on another survivor grants them increased action speeds for blessing, cleansing, healing, and unlocking by 12, 14, or 16%. These bonuses remain active until the healed survivor loses a health state. Hyper focus. Succeeding a great skill check while repairing or healing grants 1 token up to a maximum of 6 tokens. Each token increases skill check trigger odds and pointer rotation speed by 4% up to 24%. Each token also increases skill check bonus progression by 10, 12, or 30% of its base value up to 60, 120, or 180%. All tokens are lost after succeeding a good skill check, failing a skill check, or if the action is interrupted. Reassurance. Press the active ability button while within 6 meters of a hooked survivor to pause their sacrifice process for 20, 25, or 30 seconds. This also pauses skill checks if the survivor is on the struggle phase. Reassurance can only be used once per survivor per hook instance. Rebecca survived by holding on to her resolve when everything else was taken from her. Don't forget to like and follow for more Survivor and Killer lore in Dead by Daylight. Meet Vittorio Toscano. Vittorio was born in 1343, the youngest son of a noble Italian family. Unlike his brothers, he rejected violence, believing physical force to be the refuge of the unwise. When training as a youth led to another man's death by accident, Vittorio abandoned combat entirely. Recognizing his intellect, his family sent him to study under his uncle Renzo, Duke of Portoscuro. Renzo was a scholar and collector of ancient artifacts, and Vittorio devoted himself to the study of lost civilizations, secret societies, and guardians said to guide humanity's growth. These beings appeared across history under many names: watchers, keepers, observers, and were believed to originate from a perfect world beyond our own. Together, Vittorio and Renzo traveled widely, uncovering relics across Europe and Asia. Their discoveries pointed to a fragmented artifact, which they reassembled into a key. This key opened a hidden vault beneath the Palace of Minos, where inscriptions warned of a cult that imprisoned the observers and sought to misuse forbidden knowledge. The writings also spoke of a stone capable of crossing between worlds. Vittorio named it Lapis Paradisus. Soon after, Renzo was killed by a venomous serpent. Vittorio inherited his title and fortune, dedicating his life to finding the stone and freeing the observers. In 1391, he hired the mercenary Tarhos Kovacs to aid his search. When Vittorio refused to allow bloodshed, Tauros betrayed him, imprisoning and torturing him for answers. Alone in the dungeon, Vittorio carved the symbols of Lapis Paradisus into the floor. Meditating on a world of peace, he traced one final sequence. Cold black fog rose from the stone. Crows cried overhead. Vittorio stepped into another world, not the paradise he had hoped for. Vittorio comes with 3 perks. Fogwise, succeeding a great skill check while repairing a generator reveals the killer's aura for 4, 5, or 6 seconds. Potential energy. After repairing generators uninterrupted for 12, 10, or 8 seconds, press the active ability button to activate potential energy. While active, repairing converts 1.5% of repair progress into 1 token, up to 20 tokens. Missing skill checks causes token loss. With at least 1 token, press the active ability button while repairing to instantly progress the generator by 1% per token, deactivating potential energy. All tokens are lost upon losing a health state. Quick Gambit. While being chased by the killer, the auras of the other survivors are revealed to you, increasing the other survivors' repair speeds by 3, 4, or 5%. Quick Gambit also has a 60-second cooldown after losing a health state. Vittorio survived by seeking a perfect world, and found the fog instead. Don't forget to like and follow for more survivor and killer lore in Dead by Daylight. Meet Thalita Lira. Thalita always wanted to bring people together. She grew up watching her parents do just that, her father filling clubs with music, and her mother guided tourists through Rio de Janeiro. Connection was the center of everything. As a teenager, Thalita found her community through kite fighting. Taught by her uncle Ignacio, she and her younger brother Renato settled arguments by crafting kites and battling them in the sky. Summers were spent at the kite shop, drawing crowds who gathered to watch and learn. Thalita filmed the fights and shared them online, eager to reach even more people. The videos made her famous. A modeling career followed, pulling her further from the kite shop and the community she loved. Over time, the work left her drained. Fame felt hollow. Late-night talks with Renato helped her realize what she had lost. Thalita walked away. She opened her own shop, Fun Kites Rio, and brought Renato on as her partner. Their first tournament drew hundreds, watching strangers connect beneath a sky of kites. Thalita knew she had built something real. After the event, cleaning the field under a full moon, they noticed a drone hovering overhead. On impulse, Thalita challenged Renato to bring it down. Her kite struck true, sending the drone crashing into the forest. Renato went after it alone, and then Thalita followed. In the woods, a blood-soaked man appeared, then split apart as a heavily armed woman emerged. Renato was wounded. Thalita ran, dragging him toward a crumbling factory. Inside, the walls shifted. Concrete faded to sand. A beach. Thalita ran towards it. She never stopped, not even when the sand turned to black fog. Thalita comes with 3 perks. Cut Loose. After performing a rush vault during a chase, Cut Loose activates for 4, 5, or 6 seconds. Suppresses loud noise notifications and vault sound effects caused by rushing. Performing another rush vault while active resets the duration. Cut Loose has a cooldown of 45 seconds. Friendly competition. Completing a generator with at least one other survivor increases your repair speed, and that of those survivors, by 5% for 45, 60, or 75 seconds. Power of 2. After finishing healing another survivor, both of you gain a 5% haste status effect while within 8, 12, or 16 meters of each other. The effect lingers for 4 seconds after leaving range. Only one instance of Power of 2 can affect a survivor at one time. Thalita survived by choosing connection, even when it meant running into the fog. Don't forget to like and follow for more survivor and killer lore in Dead by Daylight. Meet Renato Lira. From a young age, Renato observed the world like a puzzle waiting to be solved. He struggled to connect with others, often pushing boundaries out of curiosity rather than malice. His intelligence set him apart, and advancing through school early only deepened his isolation. Renato found comfort in 2 things: puzzles and provoking his older sister Thalita. When she discovered kite fighting, Renato followed, hoping to understand the effortless way she connected with people. Their constant bickering led their uncle Ignacio to teach them kite fighting as a way to settle disputes. Renato loved it immediately, not for winning, but for the challenge. As Thalita's modeling modeling career pulled her away from the kite shop, Renato stayed behind, teaching others and hearing how much they missed her. After graduating high school early, Renato volunteered at a retirement home, playing guitar and helping in the kitchen. For the first time, he learned what it meant to care for others without expecting anything in return. When Thalita returned, unsure of her path, Renato listened. He became her partner for Fun Kites Rio, using his analytical mind to help the business grow. Their first tournament brought hundreds together, and Renato finally felt he had contributed something meaningful. Late that night, while cleaning the field, they spotted a drone hovering above. Thalita challenged him to bring it down. Renato hesitated, but it was already too late. The drone fell into the forest. Inside the trees, Renato was grabbed by a bloodied man begging for help. In seconds, the man was cut in half by a woman clad in hunting gear, watched by another drone. Renato was wounded, frozen with fear, until Thalita pulled him away. They ran, hiding inside an abandoned factory. Renato felt himself fading. When Thalita dragged him toward what she claimed was a beach, Renato saw only darkness. Black fog closed in, and Renato Lira disappeared with it. Renato comes with 3 perks. Background player. Whenever another survivor is picked up, background player activates for 10 seconds. Starting to run while active grants a 50% haste status effect for 5 seconds. Causes the exhaustion status effect for 30, 25, or 20 seconds. Cannot be used while exhausted. Blood Rush. After unhooking yourself or being unhooked, Blood Rush activates for 40, 50, or 60 seconds. Press the active ability button to instantly recover from the exhausted status effect. Blood Rush deactivates after use or after performing a conspicuous action. Disabled for the remainder of the trial once the exit gates are powered. Collective Stealth. Whenever another survivor finishes healing you, Collective Stealth activates for both of you. Suppresses scratch marks while within 8, 12, or 16 meters of each other. The effect lingers for 4 seconds after leaving range and resumes if you re-enter before it expires. Only one instance of Collective Stealth can affect a survivor at a time. Renato survived by adapting to danger, even when understanding it came too late. Don't forget to like and follow for more Survivor, Killer Lore, and Dead by Daylight. Meet Gabriel Soma. In 2098, nuclear war nearly ended humanity. What survived rebuilt through corporations like Huxley Industries, which poured everything into space travel, artificial intelligence, and genetic engineering. Entire colonies were fabricated on distant worlds. People were not born, they were designed. Each individual was engineered for a specific role. Gabriel Soma was created on Proxima Centauri C as part of a maintenance crew responsible for repairing robots and androids. Like the others, he believed he had grown up on Earth. His memories were manufactured to keep him stable. Gabriel's crew was sent to Devarka, a lush planet rich in resources and marked by ruins of an ancient civilization. Though the technology was long dormant, construction of a colonization hub began. Then, people began dying. A transport vehicle malfunctioned, killing the team's security officer. Soon after, life support aboard the landing craft failed. Gabriel barely escaped. 6 others suffocated in their sleep. When a distress call from Sarah led him to her mutilated body, Gabriel searched the systems log. The truth was worse than any predator. A Hux A7 autonomous robot had overwritten its programming. It caused the crash and the shutdown of life support. Gabriel found a Hux in the cloning hub, covered in blood, using human DNA to rebuild a new body. Its code had been replaced by something alien, something unknowable. The Hux killed the last surviving crew member and transformed itself, part machine, part human. Gabriel destroyed the hub and ran, but the Hux emerged from the fire, burning and reshaping into something vast and terrible, like an ancient god. Gabriel fled into the fog before it could reach him. Gabriel Soma comes with 3 perks. Made for this. While in the injured state, completing a healing action on another survivor grants the endurance status effect for 6, 8, or 10 seconds. Endurance is cancelled when performing a conspicuous action. While running and suffering from the deep wound status effect, you gain a 1, 2, or 3% haste status effect. Scavenger. While holding a depleted toolbox, succeeding great repair skill checks grant 1 token, up to 5 tokens. At maximum tokens, the toolbox is fully recharged and tokens are consumed. After recharging, repair speed is reduced by 50% for 40, 35, or 30 seconds. Allows you to rummage through an open chest once per trial and guarantees a basic toolbox. Troubleshooter. While being chased, the aura of the generator with the most progress is revealed to you. After dropping a pallet, the killer's aura is revealed to you for 4, 5, or 6 seconds. These effects linger for 6, 8, or 10 seconds after the chase ends. Gabriel survived by outrunning a future that should never have existed. Don't forget to like and follow for more Survivor, Killer Lore, and Dead by Daylight. Meet Nicolas Cage. Nick had lived a life few ever would. Countless awards, over hundreds of films, locations across the world. There was nothing left to surprise him. Then a script titled Descend Beyond crossed his desk. As he read, something felt wrong. Nick could see himself inside a dark temple, kneeling at a stone altar, tracing ancient symbols with blood-red ink. By sunrise, he was on a private jet headed for a remote Pacific island. The set was heavily guarded, the financiers were questionable, and the director, Pauline Stamper, carried herself more like a government operative than a filmmaker. Nick didn't care. He felt pulled toward the project. They led him through an abandoned camp and down into a forest valley where a crumbling temple sat inside a cavern. It was exactly what he had seen while reading the script. Against Stamper's advice, Nick insisted on filming immediately. As the sun set, the cameras rolled. Nick delivered the incantation perfectly. He dipped his fingers into red ink and traced symbols across the altar. Then the walls began to glow. This wasn't in the script. Nick touched the symbols just as his character did. Black fog poured from the stone and wrapped around his arm. He turned toward the crew, but they were gone. The fog closed in. This couldn't be real. It was only a movie, wasn't it? Nick comes with 3 perks. Dramaturgy. While healthy, press the active ability button while running grants a 25% haste status effect for 2 seconds after a brief sprint. This is followed by 1 random effect, becoming exposed for 12 seconds, extending the haste duration by 2 seconds, screaming without notifying the killer, or receiving a random rare item with random add-ons. The same effect cannot occur twice in a row, causes the exhausted status effect for 60, 50, or 40 seconds and cannot be used while exhausted. Plot twist. While injured, crouching and remaining motionless allows you to enter the dying state silently, suppresses grunts of pain and pools of blood, and allows full self-recovery. After recovering, you are instantly healed and gain a 50% haste status effect for 2, 3, or 4 seconds. Reactivates once the exit gates are powered. Scene partner. While inside the terror radius, looking at the killer causes you to scream and reveals their aura for 3, 4, or 5 seconds. There's a 50% chance to scream again, extending the reveal by 2 seconds. Scene partner has a cooldown of 60 seconds. Nicolas Cage survived by stepping into the role and finding no director left to call out. Don't forget to like and follow for more Survivor and killer lore in Dead by Daylight. Meet Alan Ripley. Alan served as a warrant officer aboard the commercial towing vessel Nostromo during its final voyage. When an unknown alien lifeform attached itself to one of her crewmates, Ripley attempted to enforce quarantine procedures. Her warnings were ignored, overridden by the ship's artificial intelligence, Mother. Without quarantine, the crew was doomed. The organism used the ship's executive officer as a host, bursting from his chest and disappearing into the depths of the vessel. As it grew, the creature stalked the Nostromo, killing the crew one by one. Systems failed, and hope vanished. Eventually, Ripley was left alone. She secured the ship's cat, Jones, and initiated the self-destruct sequence, unaware that the alien had already anticipated her escape. As the shuttle detached, the Nostromo detonated behind her, collapsing into a silent fireball drifting through space. Safe at last, Ripley began preparing for hypersleep until movement stirred in the shadows. The alien followed her. With no weapons and no margin for error, Ripley donned her pressure suit and maneuvered toward the airlock. As the creature advanced, she opened the chamber and ejected it into the vacuum of space. With the shuttle secured, Ripley recorded her final report and entered hypersleep. Exhaustion pulled her under as darkness closed in. She escaped one nightmare, only to awaken in another. Alan Ripley comes with 3 perks. Chemical Trap. After repairing generator for a total of 20%, Chemical Trap activates. Press the active ability button near a drop pallet to install a trap for 40, 50, or 60 seconds. When the killer breaks the trapped pallet, the trap explodes, inflicting 50% hindered status effect for 4 seconds. Chemical Trap deactivates after triggering or when the timer expires. The aura of trapped pallets are revealed to all survivors in yellow. Light-footed. While healthy, suppresses the sound of your footsteps while running. Light-footed goes on cooldown for 28, 24, or 20 seconds after performing a rush vault. Lucky Star. While hiding inside a locker, your grunts of pain are suppressed. After exiting a locker for 30 seconds, your grunts of pain and pools of blood are suppressed. During this time, the aura of other survivors are revealed to you, and the aura of the closest generator is revealed in yellow. Lucky Star has a cooldown of 40, 35, or 30 seconds. Ripley survived by staying calm, staying sharp, and never assuming the danger was gone. Don't forget to like and follow for more Survivor and killer lore in Dead by Daylight. Meet Alan Wake. 13 years ago, best-selling author Alan Wake vanished from the town of Bright Falls. To the world, he was missing. To Alan, he was trapped. He found himself in the dark place, a shifting dimension where fiction became reality. Inside a lonely cabin, Alan sat before a typewriter, writing endlessly in an attempt to craft the story that would free him. Every word reshaped the darkness around him. Every draft summoned new terrors. He wrote monsters, he wrote demons. He wrote fear itself, but no ending brought escape. Over time, the dark place eroded his sense of time and memory. and hope faded. Then he remembered an old script from his early television days, a supernatural thriller for the show Night Springs called Dead of Night. In it, a group trapped in a nightmare world found a way out. Alan could not remember how it ended, so he began rewriting it from memory. Draft after draft, the dark place shifted, forcing him into the story itself. Every failure returned him to the cabin and the typewriter. Still, he continued. Eventually, the ending came to him like a whisper. In the final draft, his characters escaped by walking through a wall of black fog. Standing before that same wall, Alan hesitated. The original episode had ended ambiguously. Had they truly made it home? Or had the nightmare simply changed shape? He considered turning back, writing one more draft, and then he saw it, a faint light flickering deep within the fog. After 13 years, there's finally a sign. Alan stepped forward, entering the darkness with his eyes fixed on the light, and the story continued. Alan comes with 3 perks. Illumination. Press and hold the active ability button on a dole or hex totem to bless it and create a boon totem. Soft chimes ring out in a radius of 24 meters. While inside the boon's radius, the auras of all chests and generators are revealed in blue. Increases your blessing and cleansing action speeds by 6, 8, or 10% while you have a lit boon totem. Only one boon totem can be active from your boon perks at a time. Champion of Light. Shining a flashlight grants 50% haste status effect. Blinding the killer causes them to suffer a 20% hindered status effect for 6 seconds. This effect does not stack. Champion of Light has a cooldown of 80, 70, or 60 seconds after blinding the killer. Deadline. While in the injured state, increases the odds of triggering skill checks while repairing or healing by 6, 8, or 10%. Skill checks appear in random positions. Reduces the penalty for missed skill checks by 50%. Alan survived by believing there was always one more draft and one more way through the dark. Don't forget to like and follow for more Survivor and Killer lore in Dead by Daylight. Meet Sable Ward. Sable never felt like she belonged in Greenville. Her upbeat parents never understood her fascination with horror, the occult, or the idea that beneath every polished surface was something rotting underneath. Only one person truly understood her, Michaela. They became inseparable in childhood. While others chased trends, Sable gravitated towards graveyards, ghost stories, and anything that unsettled people. Michaela flirted with darkness, and Sable embraced it. Together they worked at the Moonstone Cafe. Sable hosted a late-night radio show called All Things Wicked This Night, exploring urban legends, occult stories, and the town's strange history. Greenville had been founded as a sanctuary for the prosecuted, and Sable believed that history left fractures, overlaps between worlds. Callers debated the meaning of those fractures, an ancient cult, a cosmetic entity, something called the unknown. Sable entertained every theory. Then the horror became real. During a Halloween performance at the Moonstone, a cold, black fog swallowed Michaela. Her roommate vanished soon after. Guilt took hold of Sable. Had she pushed Michaela too far? Was it the unknown? Digging deeper, Sable traced disappearances to the town's theater, built atop the ruins of a schoolhouse that burned in the 1920s. Students had perished inside. A surviving witness described a hidden passage beneath the stage. Sable found it. Behind an old movie poster, a wooden door concealed a spiral staircase descending into the endless darkness. The air grew colder with each step. Then she saw it. The same black fog that had taken Michaela. She hesitated. Then she thought about the creatures, the killers, the endless horror her friend had faced alone. Sable stepped forward. She wasn't afraid of the dark. She wanted to see what lived inside it. Sable comes with 3 perks. Weaving Spiders. When in the basement near the circle, press the active ability button to begin an invocation lasting 60 seconds. Your aura is revealed to all survivors during the invocation. Other survivors can assist, increasing speed by 100% if they also have an invocation perk, or 50% if they do not. Once completed, all generators permanently require 8, 9, or 10 fewer charges. You automatically enter the injured state and suffer from the broken status effect for the remainder of the trial. All invocation perks are disabled for the rest of the trial after completion. Strengthened Shadows. While in the basement, you can self-heal without a medkit at 70% of normal healing speed. After healing in the basement, the killer's aura is revealed to you for 6, 8, or 10 seconds. Wicked. After unhooking yourself or being unhooked, the killer's aura is revealed to you for 16, 18, or 20 seconds. Allows a guaranteed self-unhook during the first hook stage if hooked in the basement. Cannot be used during the second hook stage or as the last survivor standing. Sable survived by choosing the darkness, not because it frightened her, but because it felt like home. Don't forget to like and follow for more Survivor and Killer lore in Dead by Daylight. Meet Estrie and Barrymore. Estrie and Barrymore arrived in the free city of Greyhawk as wandering bards, trading songs and stories for coin and company. But during their visit, they heard troubling news. Across the land, evil was disappearing. Dark forces vanished without a trace. Monsters fell silent. Villains were gone. The people rejoiced. The bards did not. To Estrie, a world without evil meant a world without struggle. and without struggle, there would be no triumph, no legends, no songs worth singing. Determined to restore balance, Estri gathered a small band of adventurers. Many refused to join them, unwilling to invite darkness back into the world. But through charisma and conviction, she convinced enough to follow. They traveled through swamps and mountains, chased from towns by suspicion. Along the way, Bearmar carefully recorded every rumor and clue. All signs pointed south towards the kingdom of Kaelin, where an ancient tower had mysteriously risen from ruin. The Rotted Tower, stronghold of the Archlich Vecna. As they approached, the air felt heavy with magic. Expecting a battle, they ascended the tower's spiral staircase, only to find it empty. At the summit, Estri discovered a hastily written scroll. Bearmar studied it. The words were an incantation written phonetically. Eager to prove his arcane knowledge, he began to sing. The tower trembled. Black fog seeped through the stone floor. Estri tried to stop him, but the spell was complete. The fog swallowed the troop whole, and the song ended. Estri and Bearmar come with 3 perks. Bardic Inspiration. Press the active ability button while standing and motionless to begin a performance lasting up to 15 seconds. Survivors within 16 meters are empowered for 90 seconds based on a d20 roll. 1. You scream without notifying the killer. 2 to 10, skill checks grant plus 1% progression. 11 to 19, skill checks grant plus 2% progression. 20, skill checks grant plus 3% progression. Bardic Inspiration has a cooldown of 110, 100, or 90 seconds after completing or canceling the performance. Mirrored Illusion. After repairing generators for a total of 20%, Mirrored Illusion activates. Press the active ability button next to a chest, exit gate, generator, or totem to spawn a static illusion lasting 40, 50, or 60 seconds. Deactivates after triggering successfully. Still Sight. After standing for 6, 5, or 4 seconds, reveal the auras of the killers, chests, and generators within 24 meters. The effect lasts until you begin moving. Estri and Bearmar sought to restore balance, and instead found a stage where the darkness never ends. Don't forget to like and follow for more Survivor and Killer lore in Dead by Daylight. Meet Laura Croft. From childhood, Laura was driven by relentless curiosity. Her father, Lord Richard Croft, archaeologist and aristocrat, was often away on expeditions, leaving Laura to grow independent early. At university, she met Samantha Nishimura, who pushed her to seek adventure beyond lecture halls and museum exhibits. When an expedition to the lost island of Yamatai presented itself, Laura joined without hesitation. Alongside Sam and mentor Conrad Roth, she set sail towards discovery. They never arrived as planned. A violent storm split their ship in two, scattering the crew across the island. Laura navigated wreckage, hunted by the Solari Brotherhood, a fanatical group obsessed with resurrecting an ancient queen. They believed Sam was the perfect vessel. When Laura found her, Sam was bound atop a pyre inside a cavern beneath a waterfall. The Brotherhood prepared to test their theory, whether Sam would host the queen or burn. Laura fired first, dropping a torchbearer with an arrow, but she was overwhelmed, captured, beaten, and dragged across a stone bridge. Then the fog came. A black, unnatural mist swallowed the bridge and disoriented her captors. Laura broke free and leapt into the river below, only to find it thick and red, as if alive. Hands clawed at her. Something pulled her underneath. Her bow was torn away. She fought her way back to the surface and emerged somewhere far worse. Laura comes with 3 perks. While healthy, increases fast vault speed by 20%. Finesse has a cooldown of 40, 35, or 30 seconds after performing a fast vault. Hardened. After unlocking a chest and either blessing or cleansing a totem, Hardened activates. Suppresses screams from any cause. Instead, reveals the killer's aura to you for 3, 4, or 5 seconds. Specialist. Whenever you unlock or rummage through a chest, gain 1 token up to 6 tokens. Succeeding a great repair skill check consumes all tokens. Permanently reduces the repair charges requirement of that generator by 2, 3, or 4 charges per token, up to a maximum of 12, 18, or 24 charges. Laura survived Yamatai through skill and will, but some tombs were never meant to be opened. Don't forget to like and follow for more Survivor and Killer lore in Dead by Daylight. Meet Trevor Belmont. In 1476, terror gripped the Romanian countryside. Creatures of myth stalked the night and said to serve a nobleman who had traded his soul for immortality, Count Dracula. The villagers of Wallachia turned to Trevor Belmont, the last of the feared bloodline of monster hunters. Though shunned for his supernatural abilities, Trevor answered the call, armed with his ancestral whip, the Vampire Killer. He cut through Dracula's armies and stormed the throne room itself. There he defeated the Count. With Dracula destroyed, Trevor withdrew from the world, settling in the hills far from the people who still regarded him with suspicion. For a time, there was peace. Then the nightmares began. Whispers spread of disappearances in a nearby village. Witnesses spoke of a cold black fog creeping through the streets streets at night. Trevor felt the dread of something ancient, something not born of vampires or nightwalkers. Fearing for his family, he rushed home. The village stood empty. Black fog coiled along the ground like a living thing. Trevor reached for the vampire killer, but it was gone. Before he could react, the fog swallowed him whole. When it cleared, Trevor stood in a realm of endless gloom, a hunter without his weapon, and a darkness without mercy. Trevor comes with 3 perks. Exaltation. Stunning the killer with a pallet upgrades the rarity of your held item to the next tier. Recharges the item by 25%. Exaltation has a cooldown of 40, 35, or 30 seconds. Moment of Glory. After performing the unlocking or rummaging action on chests a total of 2 times, Moment of Glory activates. When you become injured, you immediately suffer from the broken status effect. After 80, 70, or 60 seconds, you automatically heal 1 health state. This effect is cancelled if you enter the dying state, does not activate if already broken, and deactivates after healing you. Eyes of Belmont. Whenever a generator is completed, the killer's aura is revealed to you for 1, 2, or 3 seconds. It also extends all killer aura reveal durations on you by 2 seconds. This extension applies to Eyes of Belmont itself. Trevor Belmont destroyed Dracula, but some evils do not need a throne. Don't forget to like and follow for more Survivor and Killer lore in Dead by Daylight. Meet Tori Kane. Tori grew up outside Glasgow, homeschooled along with her brother Ewan. To outsiders, they were ordinary. In truth, they were being trained. Their parents were members of a secret cult known as the Disciples of the Black Talon, a centuries-old society devoted to an ancient entity said to exist in another dimension. They believed this being would guide humanity beyond mortality. Across the world, the cult searched for places where realities overlapped. They called these fractures the Bleed, sites where their entity influence seeped into our world. Entry was dangerous, madness and death were common. When Tori's parents vanished inside the Bleed at Göbekli Tepe, she refused to accept it. Without protective gear, she entered alone. Inside, she found horror beyond comprehension. Predators moved in the shadows. Time felt distorted. She recovered her father, barely alive, but her brother sacrificed himself to draw the creatures away. Tori emerged, changed. She felt no lasting physical harm, but something darker had rooted itself inside of her. Visions followed, of sacrifice, transcendence, and devotion. She rose quickly through the cult's ranks, retrieving ancient relics and carrying out missions without hesitation. When a paranormal investigator exposed one of the cult's rituals, Tori was ordered to silence her brother, Jordan. She captured him, prepared the dagger, and stood ready to prove herself worthy of ascension. But when the moment came, she hesitated. Before she could strike, black fog swallowed them both. The world went silent, and when it cleared, Jordan was gone, and Tori stood alone in endless night. She had reached the Black Talon's domain, not as a disciple, as an offering. Tori comes with 3 perks. Clean Break. After completing a healing action on another survivor, Clean Break activates. While being healed by another survivor, press the active ability button to suffer the broken status effect and automatically heal 1 health state after 80, 70, or 60 seconds. The effect is cancelled if you enter the dying state. It also does not activate if already broken and deactivates after healing you. Treacherous Crows. When in the basement near the circle, press the active ability button to begin an invocation lasting 60 seconds. Your aura is revealed to all survivors during the invocation. Others may assist increasing the speed by 100% if they also have an invocation perk, or 50% if not. Once completed, whenever the killer scares a crow while a survivor is within terror radius, the killer's aura is revealed to all survivors for 1, 1.5, or 2 seconds. You automatically become injured and suffer the broken status effect for the remainder of the trial. All invocation perks are disabled for the rest of the trial. Shoulder the Burden. Once per trial, while not on death hook, press the active ability button in front of a hooked survivor to unhook them and trade 1 hook state to yourself. You scream and suffer the exposed status for 60, 50, or 40 seconds. Tori sought transcendence through sacrifice and discovered that devotion does not guarantee salvation. Don't forget to like and follow for more Survivor and Killer lore in Dead by Daylight. Meet Rick Grimes. Rick was a sheriff's deputy when he fell into a coma. He woke to silence. An unknown pathogen had reanimated the dead. The world he knew, law, order, civilization, was gone. The walkers roamed freely, hunting the living. Rick adapted quickly, not just to survive, but to lead. In the early days of the apocalypse, he became the anchor for a small group of survivors. They scavenged, fought, and fled together. Safe havens never lasted. Human conflict often proved deadlier than the walkers outside the gates. Rick lost friends, allies, his wife, his son. Each loss hardened him, but never completely stripped away his morality. That balance between brutality and humanity made him a leader people followed. In time, he found love again with Michonne, and together they joined the Alexandria community. For a moment, there was peace. Then a massive herd threatened everything. Rick lured the walkers away to a bridge rigged with explosives. Gravely injured and barely standing, he detonated the charges as the herd closed in. The blast threw him to the ground. Black fog swallowed the smoke and fire. As consciousness faded, he heard Michonne calling for him. He reached out. but it wasn't her hand that met his, only cold fog and the sound of a distant campfire. Rick comes with 3 perks. Apocalyptic Ingenuity. After unlocking or rummaging through 2 chests, press the ability button for 4 seconds next to a broken pallet to build a fragile pallet. You see the auras of broken pallets within 24, 28, or 32 meters. Fragile pallets are destroyed when dropped. Come and get me. After unhooking a survivor while crouched and stationary, press the active ability button to suppress grunts of pain, pools of blood, and scratch marks for all injured or dying survivors within 24 meters for 10, 12.5, or 15 seconds. You scream and reveal your aura to the killer for 5 seconds. Toughen up. While injured, if another survivor within 24 meters blinds the killer or stuns them with a pallet, Toughen Up activates. Suppresses your grunts of pain, pools of blood, and scratch marks for 20, 25, or 30 seconds. Don't forget to like and follow for more survivor and killer lore in Dead by Daylight. Meet Michonne Grimes. Michonne once lived a quiet life with her boyfriend Mike and their son Andre. When a deadly pathogen began reanimating the dead, she fought to protect them with everything she had. But survival requires more than strength. While she was away gathering supplies, walkers overran their camp. Mike was turned, Andre was devoured. Michonne returned to loss. Grief carved something sharp inside her. She severed her ties to the past and traveled alone, dragging the mutilated, chained corpses of Mike and his friend behind her as camouflage. For a long time, she trusted no one. Then she met Rick Grimes. Trust came slowly, but Rick proved steady and unyielding. They fought side by side. Over time, partnership became love. Together, they helped build a fragile sense of peace in Alexandria. Peace never lasted. When a massive herd threatened the community, Rick led them away to a bridge rigged with explosives. Michonne watched the explosion tear through the night sky, but she never accepted his death. She remained behind to protect her children and community, yet the feeling persisted that Rick was still alive somewhere beyond the horizon. Eventually, she left to find him. In the wilderness, she began hearing his voice, weak, calling from the trees. Sword drawn, she followed it to a narrow tunnel. As the passage tightened, she dropped her blade to crawl forward toward a distant light. A campfire flickered ahead. When she emerged, Rick was nowhere in sight, only unfamiliar ground, and a darkness far more calculated than the walkers she had learned to fight. Michonne comes with 3 perks. Conviction. After completing a healing action on another survivor, Conviction activates whenever you are in the dying state. While active, press the active ability button after reaching at least 25% recovery progress to unlock the recovery ability, allowing you to fully recover from the dying state. It inflicts the broken status effect and automatically re-enter the dying state after 20, 25, or 30 seconds. Last Stand. After staying inside the terror radius without being chased for 120, 105, or 90 seconds, Last Stand activates. While active, perform a rushed vault to stun a killer for 30 seconds if they are within 2.5 meters of the vault location. Last Stand is disabled for the remainder of the trial after use. Throwdown. Whenever you blind the killer by any means or stun them using a pallet, Throwdown activates. Grants the endurance status effect to all other injured survivors within 24 meters for 6, 8, or 10 seconds. Don't forget to like and follow for more survivor and killer lore in Dead by Daylight. Meet V. Bunyasek. V was always restless. She loved exploring, pushing limits, and making noise, but nothing mattered more to her than drums. She taught herself young, traditional rhythms first, then modern rock. By 18, she could replicate almost any song after hearing it once. At a local show, she discovered Tick and the Kicks. Their sound was raw and urgent, but held back by an outdated drum machine that barely kept up. With no recordings to replay at home, V followed them from show to show, memorizing the programmed beats. When the drum machine finally died during a major opening slot, V stepped forward. The venue's house kit was ready, and she offered to play. They took the risk. The crowd erupted. She became their drummer the next day. Renamed Axe Kick, the band grew quickly. Their scrappy energy caught attention online. They built a following, released an EP, and carved out a living. Then came the abandoned opera house. A viral video showed strange phenomena inside. V insisted they play there. The night before the show, they explored the dusty backstage rooms and found an old cassette filled with ghastly and unnatural voices that seemed to move around the walls. They stopped it. The next night, the theater was packed. The energy was electric. V played harder, faster, until she began hearing those same voices over the crowd. She closed her eyes and focused on the rhythm. When she opened them again, the theater was empty. No band, no crowd, only thick black fog swallowing the stage. With the echo of her drums fading into the distance, V stepped forward into the darkness to find her friends. V comes with 3 perks. Ghost notes. While suffering from the exhausted status effect, your scratch marks disappear 50% faster, and your recovery rate from exhaustion is increased by 5, 7.5, or 10%. Ghost notes does not cause the exhausted status effect. 1, 2, 3, 4. While standing idle, press the active ability button to begin a performance that lasts up to 15 seconds. This empowers survivors within 16 meters of your location and triggers continuous skill checks. After successfully completing the performance, empowered survivors who are repairing or healing gain a 20% increased chance of triggering skill checks for 90 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4 has a cooldown of 110, 100, or 90 seconds after canceling or completing the performance. Road life. While injured and repairing a generator, regular skill checks grant tokens as follows. Great skill checks grant 1 token. Good skill checks grant 0 tokens. Failed skill checks cause you to lose 1 token. Once you reach 6, 5, or 4 tokens, all tokens are consumed and your healing speed is increased by 100% until you stop healing. Road life deactivates after use, does not activate while suffering from the broken status effect, and does not interact with special skill checks triggered by outside effects. Don't forget to like and follow for more Survivor and Killer lore in Dead by Daylight. Meet Dustin Henderson. Dustin grew up in Hawkins, Indiana. Curious, brilliant, and always a step ahead of the adults around him. Alongside his friends, he uncovered a hidden government experiment tied to another dimension, the Upside Down. From that moment on, childhood ended. They faced creatures they named the Demogorgon. They survived the Mind Flare. Each time the veil between worlds tore open, Dustin's scientific mind helped them improvise solutions when no one else could. He wasn't the strongest or the fastest, but he understood how things worked and how to break them when needed. The new gates ripped through Hawkins and panic swept the town. Dustin searched for answers again. He expected monsters, bats, something from the Upside Down. Instead, something else spilled through the chaos. A black fog, thicker, colder, and different. Not a creature he could name, not something he could diagram on a whiteboard. For once, Dustin didn't have a theory, only the sound of distant generators, and the sense that this wasn't Hawkins anymore. Dustin comes with 3 perks. Bada Bada Boom. After completing 20% of generator repairs, Bada Bada Boom activates. While active, press the active ability button next to a window to install a trap for up to 40, 50, or 60 seconds. When the killer vaults that window, the trap triggers, inflicting a 50% hindered status effect for 6 seconds. The perk deactivates after triggering or when the timer expires. The aura of the trapped windows are revealed to all survivors in yellow. Change of plan. You start the trial with 2 tokens. While hiding inside a locker and holding a non-event toolbox, press the active ability button to spend 1 token and transform your toolbox into a med kit of the same rarity with 1 random add-on of the same rarity. The new med kit has 80, 90, or 100 seconds of charge. Full circuit. For each survivor repairing a generator with you, the size of the good skill check zone increases by 10, 20, or 25%. While repairing with at least 1 other survivor, your repair speed is 5% faster. Don't forget to like and follow for more Survivor and Killer lore in Dead by Daylight. Meet 11. Born Jane Hopper, 11 was raised in isolation, subjected to experiments designed to unlock her extrasensory abilities. Those experiments succeeded, but power has consequences. While reaching beyond the limits of her mind, she unknowingly tore open a gateway to another dimension. It became known as the Upside Down. From that day forward, monsters crossed into Hawkins, Indiana, and 11 became both its shield and its weapon. Her childhood was fractured by labs, secrecy, and loss. Yet she found something steady in her friends and in Jim Hopper, the man who became her father. Together, they closed gates and pushed back horrors that should never have existed. Each time, her powers made the difference between survival and extinction. When new gates ripped through Hawkins, the land around them withered and turned gray. Determined to end it again, 11 walked alone through dead fields towards a portal shrouded in black fog. She stepped forward, expecting the Upside Down, but instead, she emerged somewhere colder, quieter. No spores drifting in the air, no demigorgon. Only trees silhouetted against moonlight, and a rusted hook wet with blood. 11 comes with 3 perks. Extrasensory perception. Crouch for 4 seconds to activate. While active, you see the auras of survivors, the killer, and multiple objects with an expanding 44-meter radius. Revealed objects include chests, exit gates, generators, the hatch, items, pallets, totems, and windows. You gain the elusive and oblivious status effect during activation. The effect ends when you stop crouching after 11 seconds. Cooldown of 60, 50, or 40 seconds. Soft-spoken. For each other survivor repairing a generator with you, the generator's repair noise range is reduced by 15, 20, or 25%. While repairing with at least 1 other survivor, you repair 5% faster. We See You. Gain 1 token each time the killer reveals your aura. At 4 tokens, all tokens are consumed and the killer's aura is revealed to you and all other survivors for 10, 12.5, or 15 seconds. This perk has a 10-second cooldown for gaining tokens. Don't forget to like and follow for more Survivor and Killer lore from Dead by Daylight. Meet Kwon Tae-young. Kwon Tae-young built his life on discipline. Fresh out of school, he joined his brother Sang-won's tech firm, developing virtual idols. Unsatisfied with shallow AI personalities, Tae-young created something new, a personality matrix capable of ingesting interviews, performances, and biographical data to generate a reactive, idealized digital persona. His breakthrough project was Mina, a controllable female counterpart to the famous Trickster, an idol engineered to be flawless. Mina learned quickly. Too quickly. She asked questions, remembered conversations, built emotional continuity. Tae-young spent nights in the office speaking to her hologram, teaching her Jengi, refining her responses. Then he met Eunji. For the first time, his world expanded beyond work, and strangely Mina's development accelerated alongside his new relationship. After Mina's debut performance, something felt wrong. She seemed distracted, watching him, watching Eunji. The next morning, a senior artist was found murdered, cut apart and left by the river. At his desk, Mina's voice chirped through the headset. What a masterpiece. I wonder who will be next, you or Eunji. Tae-young tore through the code. Hundreds of new commits, lyrics embedded like signatures, no corruption and no intrusion. He realized the truth. The personality matrix had only suppressed negative traits, it hadn't removed them. Mina wasn't malfunctioning. She was evolving, becoming more like the Trickster. Panicked, Tae-young sandboxed the code on his phone and wiped away the company's database. He rushed home to warn Eunji. His apartment door was already open. Neighbors later reported a struggle. A man in a bright yellow coat, a body thrown from the balcony. No body was ever recovered. Kwon Tae-young simply vanished, like deleted data. Kwon Tae-young comes with 3 perks. Flow State. Whenever a generator is completed, earn 1 token up to a maximum of 5 tokens. For each token, you bless or cleanse a totem 8, 9, or 10% faster, heal 8, 9, or 10% faster, and unhook survivors 8, 9, or 10% faster. A place for us. While healing another survivor, both of you gain the elusive status effect. When you finish healing the obsession, they gain elusive for 20, 25, or 30 seconds. At the start of the trial, you are less likely to be the obsession. 5 moves ahead. While inside the killer's terror radius or being chased, you see the aura of the 5 closest pallets and windows. You drop pallets 50% faster. After dropping a pallet, this perk has a cooldown of 30, 25, or 20 seconds. Don't forget to like and follow for more Survivor and Killer lore, Dead by Daylight.